And switch the music because I want lo-fi vibes for the actual stream. How's it hanging, folks? Welcome to the Rogue Room. I am your host, Abigail Beck. It is a pleasure to see your lovely faces in here yet again. I hope your day has been well. I hope your yesterday was well, because I missed you. I missed you yesterday. I wasn't here. I took the night off when I was supposed to. I mean, here's the story, right? Like, I took the night off saying to myself, I need to record this video. I said to myself last night, I need to record this video because I've had the script sitting there for like 2 weeks. I've been making little tweaks to it, but I was just like, I need to get this shit done. I need to stop putting it off. So I finally did. I finally did it after like fucking midnight. So by that metric, I probably could have just streamed and then... Oh, my alerts are turned off. Whoops, sorry. Interstellar Feline TV, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. But yes, the next video is not only recorded, but I did the entire edit today, and it'll be up in 2 days' time. And I am interested in the idea of doing a stream where we all watch it together. I feel like I'll be hugely embarrassed showing my own content on stream, but at the same time, it's a neat concept to try. Also, just let me quickly fix something, because for the purposes of recording, I turned off my noise gate and noise suppression filters. I'll fix those up right quick. Howdy nondescript, how you doing? How's it going? How is everyone? I hope you folks had a lovely day yesterday. There was some interesting news that definitely hit the Twitter trending page bloody hard. I'm sure you folks have heard about it by now, because The Mandalorian, of course, being one of the biggest shows on entirely not network television. What do you even call it? One of the biggest shows in streaming? One of the biggest shows in general at the moment. The Mandalorian. Gina Carano, former MMA, as far as I know, former MMA fighter, yeah, turned actress, who, you know, in the first season, I thought her character was really cool. I thought the idea behind her character was really cool and all that. And then, you know, a little while back, she turned out to be a massive transphobe, as far as I'm aware. The story goes that she was allegedly attacked by the pronouns crowd because she didn't have pronouns in her bio, and as a response to it, she said her pronouns to, like, boop, beep, boop, or something like that, basically making fun of that whole thing, which was already kind of a strike one, I suppose. I am not 100% certain on this. I have heard rumors that she's anti-vax regarding the COVID vaccine, perhaps. Does anyone have... I couldn't find a source for this. I'll try looking up again. Like, if I look up anti-vax nothing... Oh, hang on. Here we go. We got something. Back in December. Yes, actually, I was correct. Mandalorian star... This is the same photo that every outlet has been using, by the way. Mandalorian star Gina Carano mocks vaccines. Mail-in voting in new post. There's a shocking revelation right there. Hey, Catalina Gearbox, how you doing? And hello, Weird Beards and Food for Thought. How you folks doing? Yeah, subscription TV is probably the best way to put it. On December 8th, Carano shared a new social media post that included a paragraph of white text on a green background. The text said, "Sure, I'll take the vaccine, just mail it to me. My health and safety are too important to show up in person, just like mail-in voting, you know, safe, secure, and honest. So just mail it to me and I'll give myself the shot and send the paperwork back saying I'm vaccinated. You trust me, alright? So, you know, just straight up Detroit. There you go. Just straight up mocking both mail-in voting, which is legit, it's a legitimate way to vote, and the vaccine itself. So, you know, we got strike two. So we got the transphobia. Let me bring up the transphobia thing. We'll go through this again. So Gina Carano, Disney fire. This is not what happened. This article here is wrong. Disney fires Gina Carano following transphobic tweets. Well, let's see what this article says, because it's going to reference back to what happened. After a series of... So what the actual situation was the anti-Semitic stuff. But Carano wrote beep, boop, bop, boop in her Twitter bio, indicating a disdain towards the trans community, which tends to add pronouns in their social media bios. The Twitter community immediately denounced the move, calling her statement transphobic. It is. But Karana didn't stop there. This time she went on, and by the way, we'll come back to this article now, which is ABC News. So that was the first strike. Then we had the anti-vax stuff, making fun of mail-in voting, and now I think the Mouse House is a little bit pissed off because they fired her from The Mandalorian. Hello, Draco. What's going on? What's happening? You got a new button. Awesome. What does it do?
The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation.
Draco, thank you for the host. Heard it was the other way around, that she had the beep, boop, boop. But, before then was attacked via anti-vax masks, voted for. She's basically said a whole bunch of dumb shit. Hey, Double Pinks, how you doing? Effectively, Gina Carano has, as we have confirmed already, transphobia, strike 1. Anti-vax, strike 2. Anti-mail-in voting, strike 3. And then finally, finally the Mouse House gets pissed off at the anti-Semitism. She's had numerous opportunities to turn this around, but she got to strike 4 for goodness sake. She got to strike 4 before Disney finally said, you know what, let's maybe not with you anymore. So the story goes, Gina Carano is no longer a part of the Mandalorian cast after many online called for her to be fired over a social media post that likened the experience of Jews during the Holocaust to the US political climate. A spokesperson from Lucasfilm and Carano was not A spokesperson from Lucasfilm said Carano was not currently employed by the production company and it had no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable, the statement read. Carano fell under heavy criticism after she posted that Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews, the actor and former mixed martial artist continues. And then, this addendum, this is a fucking banger, this is. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Now, call me insane, if you wish to. Call me a crazy leftist lib, or whatever, a crazy leftist free speech suppressing libtard, but I personally think the treatment of Jews during the Holocaust and the treatment of conservatives in the wake of their own attempted coup on Capitol Hill is a tad, the teensy bit different. Look, I'm going to throw this out there right now. Making comparisons to Hitler and the Holocaust, like, we should remember, definitely, what happened during the Holocaust, what happened in Nazi Germany, what happened during those times. Absolutely. But can we stop comparing what's happening now to what happened back then? It was really insane when Arnold Schwarzenegger compared what happened at Capitol Hill to the Night of Broken Glass, for example.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Nix the Mage, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Whenever somebody goes out of their way to make World War II comparisons to modern day stuff, you can tell they are just trying to rile people up. They're really just trying to get people on their side, and the fucking annoying thing is, it works. Clearly it has worked because, obviously, thousands and thousands of people on social media, probably millions, I don't fucking know, have been going absolutely off about Gina Carano posting this it's literally blatant anti-Semitism. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. Like, if you make a point to compare yourself to people that were actually oppressed, you are being... What's the point? What's the phrasing I'm looking for? Like, if you make a point to compare yourself to the treatment of Jews in Nazi Germany, you are being an anti-Semite, blatantly. Absolutely. Carano, who played the recurring character Cara Dune on the Star Wars series, deleted the post, but it was widely shared online, and saw the hashtag Fire Gina Carano tag begin to trend. Her character appeared in several episodes of the second season of The Mandalorian, a series about a bounty hunter and his quest to unite a powerful young user of the Force with a Jedi Knight. Dune, who in the second season is a law person on a frontier planet, frequently teams up with the title character to fight remnants of the evil Galactic Empire. For the record, I'm so disappointed that what we got with the sequel trilogy of Star Wars was not the Imperial Remnant, which were, kind of a primary antagonist or secondary antagonist in the Jedi Knight series of games, which are fucking awesome games, and I need to replay them. And I'm so sad they're not canon anymore. But anyway, Gina has also been criticized for social media posts that mocked mask wearing, strike 5. We're up to 5 now, folks. During the pandemic and voter fraud during the 2020 presidential election. It also took aim at the use of gender pronouns, listing beep bop boop in her social media bio. There you go. So that is basically the whole story. That wraps up everything that goes around this Gina Carano scenario. So let's count them down. She's got the anti-vax, the anti-mask, the anti-mail-in voting, the transphobia, and the anti-Semitism. Like, she's going for the bingo card, folks. It's kind of insane how much she is trying to destroy her reputation. Anyways, I completely agree with Disney deciding to fire her, of course, because it's just a stupid thing to post, just in general. Again, like, I feel like we shouldn't be dragging out the Holocaust as a comparison, especially when it's people disagreeing with your political viewpoints, especially, again, when it's conservatives who, like we've mentioned in the past, Donald Trump in the recent election got more votes than any president ever in history, aside from Joe Biden. So it's quite clear that there are a lot of people in the conservative space who would absolutely agree with her. Like, you're not going to see a Jews in the Holocaust kind of situation here, Gina. I'm sorry, but you're just not. You're going to have to get over yourself a little bit there. Catalina, the police shot a baby. Why am I not shocked? 1312, absolutely. Anyway, let's come back a bit. Let's scroll. I wanted to get these thoughts out of my head before I forgot what I was talking about. They were looking for an excuse to fire her, then the Instagram anti-Semitism happened. You reckon so? You reckon, Beards? Was the baby armed? I mean, I think Disney was definitely keeping an eye on her. Like, after the other stuff that she's, you know, same with Pete Evans, right? We come back to the Pete Evans thing. He's been saying a lot of crazy shit for a while, and it took a Nazi meme. There's the weird thing. It always comes back to the Nazis. I think there's a lot of people who will spread really controversial, bigoted, and ultimately contrarian and reactionary viewpoints on social media, but they have to get to the Nazism before anyone acts on it. It has to be the Nazism. That has to be the peak. Which, you know, as soon as they come out with Nazism stuff, as soon as they come out with the Nazi stuff, either the comparisons to World War II and the Jews, like, it's either they are being outright Nazis themselves, or they are comparing themselves to the Jews. Like, you're not allowed to have both. Right? Let's just get this out there right now. You're not allowed to have both sides of this equation. You simply cannot. Have I ever been arrested? No, I have not, actually. Police shot a baby. That's normal. America. Was it America? CBC. Canada. Was it Canada? America's hat. The woman with the Gorilla Glue got a happy ending, keeping some of her hair and no real damage. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it, Beards. But yeah, what she did was disgusting. Like, you know, again, I am going to still drag Arnold Schwarzenegger on this. It's like, yeah, the Capitol Hill riot was bad. Yeah, 5 people did die. It was an atrocious situation, and it was absolutely a coup attempt. However, comparing it to Kristallnacht was a huge stretch. Because Kristallnacht, I believe it was 86 people were killed. Civilians were dragging people out of their homes and beating them and killing them in the streets. Like, it was a very bloody night, the night of broken glass. I'd have to look it up and get all the facts correct, but comparing it to the Capitol Hill riots, which could have gone worse, let's be honest with ourselves, but let's try to firmly plant ourselves in reality. Pantaloons, Arnold Schwarzenegger did. He did a little address talking about the Capitol Hill attack and how bad it was. And he didn't directly compare it to it. But when you bring that up, when referring to that situation, again, we were talking about the Gina Carano situation, where she compared people suppressing her views. Again, that just literally means disagreeing with her on social media. She's comparing herself having contrarian viewpoints to the treatment of Jews in Nazi Germany. And it's like, can we not do comparisons to the Holocaust? I just feel like in general that's in very, very poor taste. She absolutely is missing the plot big time. And the issue is that unfortunately people are siding with her in a lot of ways, I've noticed, saying, oh, it's not the, you gotta bounce Sammy Radio. Have a good one. Thank you so kindly for being here. There are people saying, oh, it's not, she's not comparing herself to the Jews. She's not doing any of that. She's saying that there's so much political and opinion division in this day and age. And I was like, have you not been paying attention for literally all of political history? That's how shit works. People are always divisive, especially America. America is intensely divided. You're 25 minutes too late. Well, I mean, you're 15 minutes late. If you show up at 000 on the timer, you'll be fine. The rest of it's just sitting in chat. You love politics? I wish I knew more, honestly. This is why I'm going into sociology, so I can understand a lot of social concepts more vividly. Especially in America, yeah. It's like political division. There's a thing you can watch, like the political discussions going on in the Senate when they're on. I don't know if they're on at the moment. Yeah, you can watch like the Senate hearings, and you can watch the Parliament hearings and proceedings and all of that here in Australia. You know what? I need to watch one day. I need to like tune into one. I don't know where you watch them, but I have seen bits and pieces of, like, I think it's called Talk Time or something along those lines, and you watch it and they're bickering like fucking children. They're just screeching profanities back and forth at each other, calling each other names. It's like, politics has always been the most divisive fucking thing in the world. So to make the point that, you know, oh, people are disagreeing with my opinions on social media, people are disagreeing with the things I feel about the world, I'm literally being gassed in Auschwitz. Gina, calm down. Fuck, dude. It's such an obscene stretch to make. I can't imagine being that fucking dense. I cannot imagine being that level of this thick of a skull and brain as smooth as a baby's ass. Jesus Christ. And this is a good point that Beards has brought up. Failed fascist coups can be followed by successful ones, which is why I was paranoid about it. It's why I'm worried about the situation in America right now, is that, yeah, they've had a fascist coup attempt, and Donald Trump is already saying he's going to make the Patriot Party, which we'll see what happens there. But anyway, yeah, there is, honestly, that is the point that you could make. That is the point that has been made with regards to World War II. You know, we keep bringing this point up. This is like the one comparison you can make, is that Hitler had a failed coup attempt in, I think, 1993. And then I think it was 1935 or 38, something along those lines, where he tried again and succeeded. Or did I get the dates wrong? Now, will that happen? It's hard to say. We can't really predict if that's going to happen again. But we do have to... 1933. Yeah, Hitler had a coup attempt in 1993 during the early years of Seinfeld. We Canadians know more about USA politics than our own. Honestly, Adelaide, yes, the same here in Australia. I hear so much about what's going on in America because American politics has become, and hopefully it simmers down now that there's a Biden administration in. But yeah, like in Australia, there's so much news that is American politics that it's almost a reality TV show. Like we're just watching what's going on in America all the time. And honestly, I think the reason for that is because Australian politics are fucking boring, really. I think there is an Australian political story that we'll talk about tonight, though, which is worth mentioning. Arguably, the whole point of politics is to be divisive. It's people disagreeing about big social ideas. It is. Societal ideas, sorry. Let's talk about that for a second, because... And I'm not trying to big up myself for being a leftist, of course, because I'm a flagrant lefty. But I have noticed that specifically, there are a lot of leftist types who will... And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really contrarian asshole leftist types. Believe me, I'm aware of that.
Appreciates your recommendation.
Bash, thank you so kindly for the host. Welcome in. How you doing? What was I saying? There is definitely a trend in the leftist side of things to be contrarian and to be aggressive and all of that, but generally speaking, I think there's been a lot of people who speak logical and rational sense about certain political social ideas. Socio-political ideas. Socio-political's a word, did you know that?
The Room appreciates your recommendation.
Interstellar, thank you so kindly for the host. And you like the mug. Yeah, the mug's nice. And what happens is, rather than provide some kind of actual legitimate response to the discussion of those particular socio-political ideas, the right will just ad hominem anyone who brings up universal healthcare, socialized housing, or they'll bring up irrelevant statistics to try to make their opponents look bad.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Pantaloons, thank you so kindly for joining us here in the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out. Coup d'etat. Yes. Yeah, lefty folks in the US are well aware, and we're doing what we can to ensure it doesn't happen. It is very worrying. It is very worrying because, not to get political or anything, but fucking make Teslas free, Elon, save the planet. I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. Hate that so many Australians are like, we aren't the US, nothing is wrong here. Yeah, I fucking hate that too. Because, quite frankly, I'm going to throw this out there. This is a wild political take on Australian politics. There was a point made by Bill Shorten a while back in an interview on Australian news media where he mentioned specifically that Scott Morrison, our current Prime Minister here in Australia, is a Donald Trump simp. Literally used the phrase, he is a simp for Donald Trump. Yeah, Scott is a cunt. Agreed. And in that regard, I think, especially given that we are currently under a conservative government, which is kind of weird. It's the Liberal government, but they're the Conservatives. I don't know. Anyway, the Liberal, and I suppose that's because, political terminology has shifted and changed over time. What we used to call Liberals, we now call Conservatives, and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And I worry, being under a Conservative rule, that what's going to happen is Australia has a tendency, from what I've seen, to mimic what America does. Or at the very least, our government tries to in some ways. As far as I'm aware, Scotty Too Hottie, our Prime Minister, doesn't at all want Medicare. We have a universal healthcare system here in Australia, and he would absolutely, if he had the capacity to do so, would strip it away. Should not do that. We should not do that. I'm trying to lighten the mood again. I'm going to say unrelated. Western Cage, Nicolas Cage's son, used to be in a metal band. 2, actually. Still working on music. That is wholesome. We like to hear that. We like to hear that. How's it going, Fox, by the way? Take the worst part of US politics and policy and tries to make the resultant turd sparkle. Yes. Didn't somebody actually do a video on polishing a turd where they actually got it to a spheroid shape and it was smooth? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Anywho, you miss Aussie land so much. I didn't watch it, I just saw a thumbnail of it. I haven't been keeping up with Aussie politics, you're catching up with UK politics, which, by the way, comes back to Turf Island. Someone mentioned Turf Island, Dell mentioning Turf Island, yes. Which kind of sucks. I think it was Mythbusters, actually, yes. Yeah, you're right. Hang on a second, let me just look something up really quickly. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, didn't one of the Mythbusters die? It was Grant Imahara that passed away, wasn't it? It's so unfortunate. I thought it was one of the 2 main guys, but it was... I'm going to need to turn off my auto mod because I have to keep permitting different terms through. Actually, let me go to my dashboard really quickly and see if I can fix that up. Because it is a bit strict. It is very sad. Auto mod rule sets. Hostility, maybe. Less filtering. See, I've got no profanity filter on. There we go. Maybe that'll help. I used modified auto mod properties. That's what it's telling me right now. How bad is being trans in the US? Honestly, I will say this. As a transgender woman who came out back in August or September, excuse me, I was able to go to my GP. My GP sent me to a psychologist. I went and saw the psychologist once. I went back to the GP and I said to the GP, okay, I'm willing to proceed with this now. They recommended me to an endocrinologist. I went to the endocrinologist. All in the space of around 2 or 3 months this happened, and I'm on HRT, and I have been for since about October. So it was piss easy. Honestly, the endocrinologist, the GP, the psychologist, all very understanding, although the psychologist did misstep a few times, did call me, they did misgender me, they did call me by my dead name a couple times. I think maybe the reason for this is because I wasn't always attending their appointments in pure femme form, and not every session that we went to the psychologist was talking about trans stuff, so it's entirely possible she might have just forgot. But yeah, I've personally had a very easy time of it. So that's been good for me.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Queer Oneris. Is that how you pronounce that? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Heard from friends in Darwin. It sucks though. That's unfortunate. I mean, I will say this. Very recently, I see queer, I smile too. Nice. I like seeing queer folks. I will say this about Victoria. Was it Victoria that recently banned conversion therapy? So until recently, it was completely legal in the state of Victoria to use conversion therapy on queer family members and friends, for example. So it doesn't surprise me that there are probably still states that make it really difficult to transition or really difficult to be gay. Yeah, still legal in the US, like there's a lot of places. And the thing is, we've talked about conversion therapy in depth before. We've talked about the techniques they use. We've talked about what their ambition is. And I also wouldn't mind talking about ABA, which is a thing regarding autism later tonight. It's a type of therapy for autism. Therapy. It's a pretty controversial one. In the same way that conversion therapy for queer folks is controversial. Hey, Brave Bee. Hello, W. How you folks doing? Yeah, basically, effectively, ABA is the goal is to get autistic folks to act more normal, essentially. Get them to learn standard behavioral patterns. Like not actually creating a cure, but trying to cure them by effectively what seems like abusing them into behaving. Yeah, we'll go into further detail about that a little bit later on. You're fucking stupid when you're tired. I know the feeling. I'm gonna put this bracelet on just because I can. Controversial, ignorant people not seeing how wrong they are. Absolutely. And that brings us back around to Gina Carano, who believes her statements to be controversial as opposed to just blatantly reactionary and stupid because she's a dumbass. I mean, the thing is, she could have taken the opportunity at the pronouns thing to try to be a little bit more accepting and understanding and empathic. But I guess she was only seeing the ones who are really aggressive towards her. And as a result, just let her disdain for those particular people inform her opinions, and thus she lashed out instead of trying to fix her viewpoints on that particular thing. By the way, she made a Parler account. For anyone who was wondering, Gina Carano very quickly made a Parler account the first few times she was called out on social media. Shock and surprise there. Wonder if there's an anime about politics and it's a series. There probably is. I need more bracelets. Fuck Autism Speaks, fuck Pete Evans, fuck Scott Morrison, fuck Peter Dutton, fuck Pauline Hanson, and most of all, fuck the One Nation Party as a whole as well. Agreed. You could add so much more, but let's keep the caps to a minimum. It's so funny because she had so many chances to change her ways, either actually learn or stop saying dumb shit in public. Yes, exactly. It's remarkable how much they don't want to learn. This is the problem with these kinds of people. I think specifically, there seems to be definitely a trend towards... what's the phrase? It specifically seems to be a trend towards conservatism in... By the way, hi Detroit. Did I say hi Detroit? I meant to. Among that crowd of like fighter types. Among that crowd of... I've noticed it in bodybuilding too. There's a lot of them who are very Christian. They're always got Christian listed in their bio. And they always eventually espouse certain viewpoints you don't want to know that they held. That is my spider, Vess, but she's probably not out at the moment. She's been fed 2 crickets in the past week or so, so she's
Welcome to the Rogue
she's not
Room.
going to come out now. Chill, Mellow, thank you so kindly for joining us here in the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us while I get a picture of my spider up. I think I have one, actually. Let me bring up my thing here. Is it my Google Drive? Yeah, Spoda. We got a Spoda. Here is Here is her. Here is she. That's Vess. I'm just going to flash that up quickly because there's a thumbnail in the background of an old photo of me and I don't like seeing it. Sorry. It's just Spido. She's a Spido. And she's very nice. Actually, can I bring that up again? I still don't know what breed she is. I can't... Ah, dang it. Alright. I swear I saved some photos of her on my hard drive. Where's the pictures folder? Here we go. Yeah, I've got a few. Here we go. This is what you're looking for. This is Vess. There am she. Nopicus Max. It took me a second to figure out what you meant. Oh, we had a common harvestman. Hang on a sec. Let me look them up. I think I know which one you mean. I want another spider. I would like to get another spider one day. Ooh, they're cool. They are neat. Look at them. Spindly little fuckers. Look at them. The spiders like pettings. Well, considering that those hairs on her body, if she feels threatened, she'll fling them at you and they get stuck in your skin and they sting like fuck. I dare say no. Hang on a sec. A taruncula, a tarancula, or tarantula. I don't know what breed mine is. This is the problem. Hello, Emmy. How you doing? There are spiders you can easily domesticate. The jumping spider. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a jumping spider as a pet. I don't know how you would keep one though. I don't know what you'd feed it. What do you feed a jumping spider? One we call daddy longlegs in the States. Yeah, it's weird that there's two different types of spiders. There's like, you've got that one, and then there's what we call in Australia the daddy longlegs. Is more like this. More like, and these guys are piss weak. They're nothing. They're absolutely forgettable. If you see one, just be like, oh, hello. Bye. Don't really care. I've seen one of them. Or huntsmen. Huntsmen are nice. They're like little puppy dogs. I like them. They're like little 8-legged pit bulls. Look at them. They're gorgeous. Look at these babies. These are massive, mind you. They're very big, but they just chill. They just like. But although if you startle them, they take off. But I really want one of those as a pet. They're gorgeous. The thing is, though, you know, if you live in Australia long enough, huntsmen will just show up. I swear they just live around. They're just a suburban spider. And they're cool. Their bite is like a light sting, but as far as I know, it doesn't make you sick. I'm most certainly not licking my spider. Goodness, no. I have seen, interestingly enough, I went to the reptile park a little while back, and we did a behind-the-scenes tour. And I think maybe we took some photos, I can't recall. And videos and stuff. They actually had spiders in... we did a behind-the-scenes tour, and they had spiders in a little enclosure, because they've got a whole spider walkthrough area with like a whole bunch of different breeds. And there's a little viewing window that goes into, like, you can see in behind this area where they milk the spiders of their venom. It's really cool. They give them a little spritz of like a mist or a gas or something, or smoke. I think it's smoke that startles them. And then while they're startled, they get them up onto their hind legs, so they're in an aggressive mode. And I think they're able to somehow extract the venom, which they then use to produce anti-venom if you do get bitten. So there's a neat little thing. If I can get another behind-the-scenes tour of that, I'll absolutely try to record it for you folks. Because that'd be awesome to show off. Jumping spider just eats insects and other spiders. Only spider you don't like are the ones that have wings. Yeah, I think there might be flying spiders. But to be fair, like, I think we're discovering new species of spider all the time. There's people out there that are absolutely insane, going out, knowing every spider in existence, and then discovering this one or that one. So it totally wouldn't shock me, but Honestly, I wouldn't expect a flying spider to particularly be interested in flying in your face, and it's more than likely not going to appear in suburbia or, you know, modern colonized areas, so to speak. Grandma was an Aussie war bride from WW2. That's interesting. How'd that work out? Hello, Emmy Lillo. How you doing? What's going on? Bloody hate that. If you're interested in keeping huntsmen, there's a few websites that sell captive bred specimens. That'll be interesting. I've got a few other priorities though, I think. As cool as it would be, like, it'd be neat to just take that whole shelving unit and just fill it full of spiders, but I would not be good at taking care of them, honestly. I'm bad at taking care of her. I do a good enough job keeping her alive. That's more than enough responsibility for me and my cat. You love the cup. Thank you, love.
Welcome to the
Is that how do you say that? How do you say that? Love metal. There you go. I can read it now. Love metal. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. The flying squirrel thingies. Those are... What are those fucking called again? I don't remember. Birds are the only flying thing you like, and bats. Bats are cool. Imagine having a bat for a pet. They're sick. I love bats. Lampreys? What are lampreys? I know the name. I don't know what the animal is. Lampreys. Sugar gliders. Yeah, you can keep... Oh, that's cool, dude. My mother has an aquarium. Do you reckon she can get a lamprey eel? The jawless fish. These are fucking sick, dude. As someone who likes creepy shit, as someone who is like as goth can be without actually dressing goth all the time. I mean, I do sometimes. Especially now that I wear makeup. Like, I can do the black lipstick and the heavy eyeshadow. Dude, I need to do more goth looks. Got any... If you guys... Not guys. Abby, fuck. If you, my dear friends, would like me to at some point, here's a suggestion. Here's an idea. If you're not already in my Discord, jump in my Discord. I have a suggestion section. If you're at all interested in makeup, send me some makeup ideas. Send me some makeup ideas. I'm going to try like a really heavy goth look soon. Anyways. Hello, Haley. How you doing? Look, we'd love to see a quokka. Yeah, quokkas are cute. Quokkas are nice. For those who don't know what a quokka looks like, they're the most darling little creatures. Look at these things. What the fuck are these? Look at this. What are you smiling at, you little asshole? Look at this. Look at this asshole. It's not depressed. Not a member of the capitalistic machine. Just happy. Just a happy little fuckface. How dare he? You know why he's grinning? He's grinning at me. Grinning at me because I haven't reached my reasonable sub goal of 125 yet, and I've lost 4 subs since I took yesterday off stream. That's what he's grinning at. He's being a little dipshit and he's saying, listen, you loser. Saying, listen, Abigail, you loser. You're losing subscribers. And you can't convince people to sub, that's why I'm laughing at you. What he's doing. Jackass. They are cute though. You know what else is cute? Wallabies. I like wallabies. I don't know what the difference is between a wallaby and a kangaroo. I think wallabies are just smaller. Like, that's a kangaroo. Kangaroos are buff, dude. Have you ever seen... Because there's a place I go to semi-regularly. We mentioned the reptile park. And they have kangaroos just jumping around the environment. And they've got their own little enclosure they jump off to and they hang out there. But you can just pat them. You can just go over and pat them. They're really chill. And I think they've got kangaroos and wallabies that just jump around and just hang out with people. They're so nice. They're really soft. They're really friendly. Love them. Absolutely. Like, honestly, if I were to give that much of a fuck about animals, I'd work with kangaroos. Want to know something? If you make yourself smaller than they are, they will leave you alone. There you go. There's a good fun fact. Don't try to box a kangaroo. They will fuck your shit up, dude. Honestly. They are insane, though. They are really ripped. They're jacked. Yes, that one, W. Australian wildlife terrifies you, but some of them are hella cute. You know what sucks? I mean, I'm gonna ruin the illusion here for a minute here. You know what sucks? The greys aren't so bad. The big reds are a little much. You mean kangaroos here? You know what? You know what really sucks is the myth of the drop bear is a myth. I hate to break this to you folks, but we talk about the drop bears all the time as a way to scare foreigners. And regrettably, they're not a real thing. And I'm just like, could you imagine though? Could you imagine if it was just like some really intelligent feral koala that dropped out of the trees and tore your face off? How metal that would be. Pictures of them just koalas with vampire teeth drawn on. Hang on a sec. Let me have a look. Not the drop bears. Yeah, they're fake. Like, you got pictures like this, right? No, yeah, I'm actually fucking with you. They are real. They're a real animal. They will mutilate your carcass while you're not yet a carcass. Anywho. Shadowrun drop bears, but only magically awakened. There we go. Shadowrun is so wild. You know what? Like, this is not really related to anything. Somebody mentioned Dishonored on Twitter, and now I'm like, I really want to replay Dishonored. That game is so good, mate. Maybe one day soon. Maybe one day soon. I love it. It's the best. It's such a good game. What did I miss? Hang on. So what's on the trans agenda? Hot chocolate in the news, apparently. There was... Well, we did cover the Gina Carano thing, which was a bit of the transphobias. Let me see really quickly. Did I have... I don't actually have any trans-related news today that I was going to look at. Here's one, though, like, can we just go back to the... Can we go back to the Gina Carano Nazi thing? I mean, she was comparing herself to the Jews. But here's a story that intrigued me. I saw this on the World News subreddit. And I'm just, like, kind of baffled. Here's the headline. Let me hit you with a headline. 100-year-old former Nazi concentration camp guard charged with Holocaust atrocities. Pray tell, friends. Pray tell. What are you gonna do to a man who's 100 years old? He's most of 2 feet in the grave. He's 100. Like, the 100-year-old was charged with aiding and abetting murder in 3,518 cases at the Sachsenhausen concentration camp. Radio Amber, have a good one. Thank you so kindly for stopping by tonight. Appreciate your face. Put him the rest of the way in the ground. German prosecutors have charged a 100-year-old former SS concentration camp guard with aiding and abetting the murder of 3,518 people. The man is charged with knowingly and willfully aiding and abetting the murder of prisoners at the Sachsenhausen concentration camp in Oranien. Is it Oranienburg? Oranienburg, that's an I. North of Berlin from January 1942 to February 1945, according to the prosecutor's office in Neuruppin, Brandenburg. The man's name has not been released in accordance with Germany's privacy laws. His sentence is that he has to spend both of his remaining days in prison. The charges include involvement in the shooting of Soviet prisoners of war in 1942, with aiding and abetting the murder of prisoners through the use of poison gas Zyklon B, as well as other shootings and the killing of prisoners by creating and maintaining hostile conditions in the Sachsenhausen concentration camp. Sachsenhausen was established in 1936. Of the roughly 200,000 prisoners who passed through it, around 100,000 are thought to have died there. During World War II, the camp's inmate population fluctuated between about 11,000 and 48,000 people. The prosecution considers the man fit to stand trial, despite being 100. He's a century old. The man is a century. He was born in 1921. At the very least, maybe 1920. The man is 100. He is 100 years of age. Anywho, Clement told CNN that the Neuruppin Regional Court consulted with a forensic psychiatrist and found the man able to attend the trial, though only for a few hours a day, with breaks. The court is now considering whether to go ahead with the trial. The defendant first has the opportunity to respond to the indictment. Germany prosecutors are investigating several other cases connected to the concentration camps of Buchenwald, Sachsenhausen, Mauthausen, and Stutthof, according to the Central Office for the Investigation of Nazi Crimes. Just last week, a former secretary from the Stutthof concentration camp was charged with complicity in the murders of 10,000 people. Prosecutors in Itzehoe said did not name the woman, but said in a statement that they charged her with aiding and abetting murder in more than 10,000 cases, as well as complicity in attempted murder. Last year, the former concentration camp Bruno D. was given a 2-year suspended sentence by the Hamburg Regional Court. He was proved to have worked as an SS guard at Stutthof and, in the court's view, aided and abetted the murder of 5,232 people there. An estimated 6 million Jewish people were killed. Really shocking. I didn't know this part. I had no idea that an estimated 6 million Jewish people were killed in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. Shocking revelation. Also killed were hundreds of thousands of Roma people and people with physical or learning disabilities. At any rate, he's 100 or 102. Like, he's dead. Unless he turns out to be one of those world record breaking, let's get him into the Guinness Book of Records, 100-year-old, 130-year-old Nazis. He's pre-dead. Yeah, he's in the final stages of, like, death production. He's gone gold for death. You know, the man, he's going to be on the shelves of the crematorium very soon. You'll be able to pick up your own copy. Like, he's just... He still needs to face some form of judgment. Punishment is a bit pointless, you'll consider. Yeah, it just feels kind of irrelevant. There's his punishment. Let him live to be the world's oldest man, then don't put him in the book. He did those crimes and he deserves... Yeah, I mean, I agree, but the regrettable thing is like, he's 100. You know, it's like, I just feel like nothing... You put him in prison and he'll die 2 days later. It's like, oh, okay. Spend the rest of his life in a zoo. Yeah, why not? Too old to learn from his mistakes. I mean, that's the thing too. Is like, I don't know if they're going to put him in prison or what's going on there. Hey, Pete Morris, how's it going? I don't know if they intend to put him in prison. But I mean, at the same time, even if you don't put him in prison and you go for a rehabilitation thing, it's like, how are you going to rehabilitate a 100-year-old man? And queer people, they never mention the queer people. They never specifically mention the autistic people. They mention disabled. And it's atrocious that it happened, but it's inexcusable that it's not spoken about even today, yeah. One thing he found astonishing was that the gay populace of those prison camps were taken promptly to jail after the camps were liberated. They made them wear pink triangles instead of Stars of David. We should look into that, actually. The stars they used. I do recall reading about that. Let me find it really quickly. Was it Stars Nazi concentration camp badges? Hey, Turquoise, how you doing? So here's the badge coding system that they used. And this came up recently in regards to, like, some conservatives were doing something or other that used this same symbolism. If somebody can find what exactly I'm talking about, there was some conservative thing. I don't know what it is. I honestly cannot think of what it is right now. But they were using something very, very similar to this kind of ranking system on something. I don't know. Obviously some white supremacist shit. But yeah. Anywho. Let me have a look here. Let me go back. Even if he dies 1 second after his sentence, it's still right for him to be put on trial for the world to see and know. Yeah, I agree with that. People should never forget the atrocities humans are capable of, and that means looking at them. Putting a 102-year-old Nazi won't bring them back either. True. Yeah. It's kind of a weird situation just overall. That's why I wanted to bring it up. It's a really unusual story because, you know, he's gotten to live the rest of his life as a free man. You know, at the very tail end of his life, he faces some prison time. And if he survives a few more years, it's like, okay, he'll be in prison for a few years. But that's not going to give him... That's not going to be justice for those people who were killed. Or whose lives he aided and abetted the ending of. You know? Struggling but excited. I'm glad to hear you're excited. I don't think we should just let him go, but it's just an overall very strange situation. If he was 80, yeah, it makes more sense. I mean, well, if the news comes up again, if something comes up again, if there's a follow-up to this story, I'll be sure to try to bring it up. More hydration. I need more hydration. Just fucking shoot him. Like, yeah, just put him in the ground. It's like, whatevs. Speaking of spiders, there's a little tiny teeny spider, just to get back to that, crawling along my wall right now. Teeny baby spider. I do agree with your point there. It's never a waste of resources to shine a light on the crimes of fascism, and it's never a waste of resources to hold people accountable. Absolutely. But yeah, the regrettable thing is like putting him on trial and putting, like, if you sentence him to prison or whatever, it's ultimately going to be for naught, is the unfortunate thing. You're not going to have this guy serving time for the rest of the next 100 years, for example, which is what we would want in this circumstance. But yeah, I don't know. The whole thing seems a little bit odd, if I'm honest. But on the subject, we were talking about the Nazi concentration camp badges. Again, I can't remember what the conservatives were using it for, but the modern day use of a pink triangle emblem to symbolize gay rights is a response to the camp identification patches. So that's pretty cool. That's neat. Gay rights, fuck yes. Pink triangle. This one right here, the pink triangle. Reclamation of hateful imagery. That's what you want. Well, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to reclaim the Nazi swastika or the black sun, for example. Let's leave those well and truly entrenched in the past and not keep bringing those up. Unfortunately, some people do. There really isn't a best way to deal with this kind of thing. Have a good stream. Yes, indeed, Turquoise. Have a good one. Thank you so kindly for swinging by. Black sun is used by a cultist as a non-Nazi symbol. Well, I mean, it's not really what the case was with the Pete Evans situation. It's still used as a Nazi symbol, is the thing I'm getting at specifically. It's like the black sun is still very much used as a Nazi symbol by neo-Nazis. They know it exists and they're going to continue using it. So as long as there is that association, I'm just going to continue to refer to it as a blatantly Nazi symbol. What was I going to say? Well, so let's get rid of that one. Overall, though, I don't think that's... What was I going to say here? There was a point that I was going to continue on. Yeah, to wrap up that particular story, I feel like there's no good outcome. It's one of those situations where it's like, you know, double-edged sword, I suppose. No, that's not really the right phrase, is it? Like, no matter what you do, no one's going to come away satisfied. You know? You can't really put him in jail for 40 years. Hello, Zinky, how you doing? Or, you know, 80 years or anything like that. He's 100-something years of age. So, you know, putting him in prison is going to be useless. Letting him live, letting him go free, going to be useless. You know, he's, again, like I said, 1 3/4 of a foot in the grave. Just like, you push him over and he'll just die. But yeah, again, like, you're right, shooting him is letting him go. Like, if you execute him, if you imprison him, if you let him go, there's no outcome that's positive for this whole situation. None of the people that he assisted in the killing of are going to be given their justice. He got to live a full, arguably happy life. We don't know what his life was like. But, yeah. It's overall ridiculous situation. But there we go. We got some discussion out of it, at the very least. It's lose-lose. So the story is, Zinky, there was a 100-year-old man charged with a whole bunch of Nazi war crimes. He was a prison guard at one of the concentration camps in World War II, and they're now charging him with over 3,000 counts of Nazi crimes, of Nazi war crimes. And it's like, the man's 100. You lock him up, you execute him, you let him live, you let him go. It's like, no matter what, nothing's really going to come of it. There's going to be no justice for it. So overall, I think a lot of people are going to end up disappointed. A lot of Hindus in your area and you see swastikas a lot. If I'm not mistaken, the Nazi swastika is angled a certain way. I think it's actually mirrored. And the Hindu swastika is the other way. So I've actually been in a number of Hindu places, and you can see those particular swastikas around still today because they are still associated with the Hindu symbolism. Yeah, he's literally at the end of his life, and that's what we've been discussing, is like, there's really no way you can punish this man. There's really no justice for the people that he killed. So, at the end of the day, it's pointless. Symbolism is interesting. It is. I'm just going to quickly turn my aircon off, because I'm freezing now. I am freezing. My feet are freezing. It's shit. Okay. How's about that? You know what? Tie-dye socks. You gotta do online classes soon. I'm gonna have to do those soon, honestly. Gonna suck. I'm gonna have to be doing online classes. I don't want to be on a schedule in my own house. Attend Zoom calls and shit. Like, fuck. I enrolled in my course because, quite honestly, I enjoy the university atmosphere and I wanted to go to university again. I wanted to go back to attending uni for the entire sake of being... I mean, I know there's a pandemic on. Shut up. I'm aware of that. There is still some, like, actual in-person classes, but they've switched to a format where Zoom is used for a number of classes, or you can watch your lessons at home. And I'm just like, I feel like I learn better in an in-person environment, you know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe the Raelians are right, and we'll get justice when we bring the Nazis back to life and put them on trial. What are the Raelians? What's that one? It's a religion I'm not familiar with. I was about to say not fond of, and I'm just like, I don't know it. I can't not be... Whatever, you know what I mean. Symbolism is interesting. It is interesting. Because for those of you who are not aware, those of you who missed the memo on this one, a lot of the Nazi imagery was stolen from other cultures, religions, things like that. They just took that imagery for their own. So that's a fun fact. A UFO religion, big part of the thing is that your brain gets remotely uploaded by aliens when you die, and they believe eventually we'll be able to produce clone bodies and make everyone immortal via body hopping. Right. Oh, it was your birthday yesterday, Zinky. Happy birthday. Their leader wants to resurrect Hitler, of course, to put them on trial. Interesting. Let me know how that goes for them. Thank you for the posture check, Fox. Metatron's Cube. What's Metatron's Cube? Let's have a look here. There we go. Where? You know, if you think an in-person class would be more effective, you're not in school anymore, but yeah. When I did do some study at university, I found it very hard to do any sort of homework kind of stuff, but when I was in class, I could retain a lot of the information. Thing to remember is complacency is the rule, not the exception. It's the rare person who will put their life, the life of their family and friends on the line to go against a current harmful ideology. True. What did I do today? I edited my next YouTube video. I hit up the gym, and then I came home. I did the whole edit over the course of the day, rendered it, uploaded it. It's ready to go for the 14th. I am fucking happy, man. I did that shit.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Bunny. Or Banui. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. What is the point of fucking homework? I mean, I think the idea is to get you to retain the information by repetition. You know, you've already done the work at school, and now go home and do it at home. Redo the work so you retain that information. But ultimately, you know, it feels to me more that you need to focus more intently on making sure the kids are retaining that information in class, because here's the skeptical, anti-capitalist, really, really begrudging member of society part of me coming out. Having kids at school for 6 hours a day and then sending them home and saying do 3 hours of schoolwork is effectively a full work day. I mean, I don't think they're going to be doing 3 hours of schoolwork, homework. I highly doubt it. My daughter's in 3rd grade this year and she still isn't receiving homework, so maybe the system has changed a bit. Hi Bun, how you doing? You think most hate groups and stuff steal things from religion and things. It's a shame because their symbol was stolen from Buddhism, except they flipped it, but people don't recognize the original symbol. I mean, most certainly people who are Hindu do. They would absolutely realize the symbolism of it. And ultimately that's that's why ultimately this is a good opportunity to learn. Like here's an article from 2014, for example. How the world loved the swastika until Hitler stole it. So like, of course, when you have the swastika being used in a positive way until something atrocious like this happens, it's worth it to, revisit these things so that we can refresh our memory. How the world loved the swastika until Hitler stole it. In the Western world, the swastika is synonymous with fascism, but it goes back thousands of years and has been used as a symbol of good fortune in almost every culture in the world. That's interesting. Didn't know it was every culture in the world. As more evidence emerges of its long pre-Nazi history in Europe, can this ancient sign ever shake off its evil associations? That one will be very tricky. It is reversed, but the unfortunate reality of the situation is just the symbol of it in general. If anyone sees that, they're immediately going to associate Nazism, which is the difficult thing. In the ancient Indian language of Sanskrit, swastika means well-being. The symbol has been used by Hindus, Buddhists, and Jains for... Is it Jains or Hinds? Is it like a... I don't know. For millennia, and is commonly assumed to be an Indian sign. Early Western travelers to Asia were inspired by its positive and ancient associations and started using it back home. By the beginning of the 20th century, there was a huge fad for the swastika as a benign good luck symbol. In his book, The Swastika, Symbol Beyond Redemption, US graphic design writer Stephen Heller shows how it was enthusiastically adopted in the West as an architectural motif on advertising and product design. Look at this. There were Coca-Cola swastikas. Playing cards. Fine eating California fruit. That's fucking... I don't know what... That's weird. That's a bottle opener. That's an ancient Coca-Cola swastika bottle opener. There's a combination of words for you. Coca-Cola used it, Carlsberg used it on their beer bottles, the Boy Scouts adopted it, and the Girls Club of America called their magazine swastika. They would even send out swastika badges to their young readers as a prize for selling copies of the magazines. It was used by American military units during World War I, and it could be seen on RAF planes as late as 1939. Most of these benign uses came to a halt in the 1930s as the Nazis rose to power in Germany. The Nazi use of the swastika stems from the work of 19th century German scholars translating Old Indian texts who noticed similarities between their own language and Sanskrit. They concluded that Indians and Germans must have a shared ancestry and imagined a race of white, godlike warriors they called Aryans. There we go. Hindu boy with a shaved head, a giant vase at a Buddhist temple in Japan. How long is this? We're doing a bit of history now for some reason. We're doing a bit of swastika history for those who are interested in this kind of thing. The idea was seized upon by anti-Semitic nationalist groups who appropriated the swastika as an Aryan symbol to boost a sense of ancient lineage for Germanic people. Also, if we come back to this, we come back to the Aryan thing, the race of white godlike warriors, this brings us back to, we were talking about Nietzsche the other night. Was it Nietzsche? Who spoke on superhumans? Spoke on the idea of effectively what became the notion of the Übermensch, which were a race of white godlike warriors they called Aryans. The Nazis had this idea of the Übermensch, which was founded upon Nietzschean principles, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Nietzsche? It wasn't Nietzsche, was it? Was it someone else? I'm mixing up philosophers now. Übermensch was different. I do know they did use that superhuman, Superman, the Superman, not Superman, but the Superman, was a philosophical foundation for for Nazism, of course, because of course it was white supremacy and all that. The black straight-armed Hakenkreuz hooked cross on the distinctive white circle and red background of the Nazi flag would become the most hated symbol of the 20th century inextricably linked to the atrocities committed under the Third Reich. So here's the question I would like to ask you, if you're at all interested in answering it. Do you think the swastika in its current form is beyond redemption? Do you think we can go back to using that as it used to be used? I mean, obviously, given that I've seen it in particularly Hindu establishments and Indian establishments, I've seen the original swastika being used as... I mean, we went to an Indian restaurant recently, me, my sister, and my friends. And as far as I recall, there were swastikas on the interior decorating. But obviously, the Hindu swastikas, they're not Nazi ones. They didn't have a big red Nazi flag. I think, generally speaking, it's more than likely going to stay as a largely Hindu symbol, I think. It's probably not going to go back to the prominence it had pre-World War II. Mum was really angry for drawing the good swastika on your window. That's a shame. Übermensch was Nietzsche, but he meant it as someone above nihilism and shit like that. It was his sister who turned it anti-Semitic. I wrote this article as an attempt to allow for something to point out and call... for something to point out and call him... What the hell? I'm using it as a symbol of peace. Look at the BBC. I mean, you have a point there. People, and this is the thing, is like... Nazis and other people of particularly vile viewpoints are entirely aware that their viewpoints are... Well, some of them are entirely aware that their viewpoints are entirely negative and will use subtle ways to get around admitting that they're wrong. Admitting that they are saying and doing bad things. And in one of those examples, of course, you could say that perhaps... hold up. You could say that perhaps somebody would do that kind of thing. They would use the swastika as a... I'm using it as a peace symbol, or this or that or the other. They'll try to justify their use of vile symbology and all of these kinds of things. The F word ending in T used to be a name for someone who collected sticks for firewood. Something can never come back. True. True. Hitler is also just a name. A swastika is just a symbol. I mean, fair. I don't think white people will ever use it again. It's going to take the fascists not using it. That's the thing, is like fascists, neo-Nazis right now are still using the black sun, the swastika, the winged eagle, whatever that symbol is, the iron cross, like all of those symbols are still routinely being used by Nazis, which is why I understand why so many people were pissed off at PewDiePie for wearing the iron cross, or what he called a different kind of cross, on his collar on that one video. What was I going to say? Free speech, ooh, literally only people who say fucked up shit. This is the funny thing. This is the funniest fucking thing about the free speech argument, right? Let's get into this discussion for a moment, because I want to tackle this. If we go back to the Gina Carano thing for a moment. She explicitly brought up that thing with the Jews as a reference to the idea that people online were disagreeing with her viewpoints en masse, because of course they're going to. Your viewpoints are objectionable. And the thing about these kinds of conservative types is they will go out of their way to claim that free speech is being suppressed. Howdy, Romeo. How you doing? My night is going well. How's yours? They'll go out of their way to claim that their free speech is being suppressed. Gadflight, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Despite the fact that obviously anyone who has been paying attention to free speech is aware of the fact that free speech... Kuro's power carbs. You train carbs, I train carbs. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Free speech is explicitly the capacity to speak against the government, right? You can say anything you want against the government in an ideal scenario in the United States of America, and the government can't punish you for it, is what free speech is supposed to be about. However, the narrative has been shifted and twisted against by conservatives by and large, that, if you start saying that you disagree with my viewpoints, you're suppressing my freedom of speech.
The Rogue Room appreciates
oh my goodness,
your recommendation.
DJ Mule, thank you so kindly for the host. And that becomes a particular problem when that viewpoint is spread, that there are a lot of people out there who are saying, oh, what about my free speech? Why can't I say whatever I want? Why can't I disagree with the vaccines? Why can't I disagree with mail-in voting? Why can't I, make fun of the transes? All of that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, exactly, Amy. What people don't understand is freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. And even then, just because you can say everything, of course, doesn't mean that people can't counteract you. Doesn't mean that if you are working for a company and their values do not align with yours, doesn't mean that they can't fire you for it. If you go on, if you're working, I'd like to use the supermarket as an example, an easy job. If you're working in a supermarket and you burst into the lunchroom and start screaming about black crime statistics, they're going to fire you. That's just what is going to happen. And on a similar vein, if you do that kind of stuff and you're an actor on a television show, if you start posting social media stories about how you think you're being treated like one of the Jews in Nazi Germany, it's ridiculous. Now, we could get into the whole discussion around how a big monopolistic company like Disney, restricting people's freedom of speech, again, private organization, but that's a whole other thing. I do believe companies like Disney have got entirely too much power, and yes, in terms of the media industry, Disney has entirely too much of a monopoly on media right now. There is a situation whereby people are saying, oh, I'm going to boycott Disney, I'm going to cancel Disney Plus, and people will respond with, good luck finding any non-Disney media to watch. People are saying stuff like that, and it's like, how do you not realize that's a huge fucking problem? Disney having so much control over the multimedia industry is very, very bad. Very, very bad for film and television, notably. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you are working for any sort of private organization, any sort of private company, and you say things that the company doesn't agree with, they have every right to fire you. And if you go on social media and you start spouting all of this ridiculous drivel that is demonstrably disproven or is just blatantly offensive, and you claim you are being repressed and cancelled and all of this kind of stuff, you're being treated like the Jews in Nazi Germany, of course people are going to disagree with you. Of course people are going to call you out on it. It's the consequences of your actions. People really, and this is the unfortunate thing, coin toss right here. Let's do a coin toss really quickly. I'm going to put a poll up in chat. Okay? Here's one for you, folks. I'm going to put it for 2 minutes because I keep setting it to 5 minutes. Will Gina Carano be on Joe Rogan soon? I reckon she absolutely will. She's going to go on the biggest podcast on the planet in the not too distant future to talk about how she's absolutely being silenced and censored. This is what always happens without fail. Who's Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan is a... what would you call him? He used to host Fear Factor, and now he does a podcast, which is one of the biggest podcasts in the world. He has like a multi-million dollar deal with Spotify. He's a pillock. The problem with Joe Rogan is that he has a lot of alt-right voices come onto his show to talk about their stupid bullshit. And because he's got such a huge platform, a lot of people fall for those viewpoints. I'm being silenced, they say, while on press tour for their new book. It's ridiculous. And the thing is, this is absolutely a massive... let me see if I can put it into words properly. This is absolutely a massive grift that the alt-right knows that they can do. They've figured out the formula. They can go and start... I mean, Gina Carano may well have a book on the way after this kind of debacle. She knows that she's got a huge audience. I mean, this is, again, a woman who has... here's a point I'm going to make. I checked on her profile before, as the news was breaking, she had around 620,000 followers on Twitter. Later in the day, it was up around 680,000 followers. So she's gaining more of an audience because of this controversy. And she already had more of an audience on her prior Twitter account before she... I forget what happened. Either she deleted her old Twitter account or she got banned on her old Twitter account for reasons unbeknownst to me. At any rate, she had 1.5 million on that account. Now she's got close to 700,000 again. This woman has an audience. She can absolutely capitalize on that, and she absolutely will. They have no reason to change their viewpoints because they know it can bring them money, and they're going to continue to do that. 85% said yes. We got one maybe and one unsure. I totally reckon we're going to see Joe Rogan. And tell you what, if it happens, we're going to react to it. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but we'll at least, if I'm gonna check if I'm subscribed to Joe Rogan on YouTube, because he posts clips on. Is it on here? JRE clips. I am subscribed to JRE clips, so I'll keep an eye on that. And if we see Gina Carano clips come across the timeline, come across my YouTube homepage, I'll totally bring up a video and we'll watch it. Hydrate, I've got no water left. Give me a sec. So that's my viewpoint on that. I think we'll come back to this. Give me a sec. Give me a second to go get some more water. Don't go away, folks. Alright, I'm back. That's not really like a real break or anything like that, but, you know, we'll just keep going. I'm not really... And by the way, I didn't get proper water. You can punish me later for this in some way if you want. I actually got... And here's the thing that pisses me off. I bought another bottle similar to this. I bought this, right? I've got some... Go the fucking... There we go. I got sparkling lime water. It's like 5 calories a glass, okay? Forgive me. But I'm sick of boring regular water. I'm gonna have my sparkly water instead. But I made a stupid mistake, friends. Or rather, Aldi did. Aldi, the grocery store that I got this from, made a stupid fucking mistake. They had another labeled bottle very similar to that had yellow on it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll grab some lemon sparkling water as well, because I like that too. Tonic water. I looked in my fridge today and it's tonic water. Have you tried tonic water? I do not recommend it. I've made that mistake in the past. Hello, Jeffrey. How you doing? What's going on? Let me go back. You like it? I'll send it to you, Ice Joe. He claims he's a centrist and has literal zero left-wing voices on the show. Yeah, exactly. They keep looking for oppression. They're not oppressed. Does anyone want proof? Want to proofread your 5-page article for The Guardian? That sounds pretty good. Oh, you're joking. You're joking. No, I can't tell if you're joking. Because it sounds like we're all having a sarcastic laugh at people. Fear Factor was the one show where people basically had panic attacks the whole time. Yes, yeah. Like the ones we did with Graham Hancock, where there's a difference between getting a different perspective and giving the wrong people a platform, which is all Joe Rogan tends to do. Joe Rogan has a tendency to just have people on who have the wrong opinions. He's had people like Ben Shapiro on. He's had people like Steven Crowder on, as far as I recall. He had Jordan Peterson on. And it's like somebody who's familiar with Joe Rogan, and honestly, I should get back to watching his clips just for the sake of having the context. Does anyone know of any left-wing commentators he has had on his show? Because he claims, yeah, like was mentioned earlier, he claims to be a centrist. Which, by the way, let's get this out of the way right now, I do not like centrists either. You know, I'm pretty far left, and centrism is just sitting on the fence leaning towards the right, as far as I, in my opinion. Did he have Bernie Sanders on? I think he did, yeah. Love to watch this stream with a drink like alcohol or something because it's so chill. And this is literally what chilling and drinking with your friends is like. I'm glad you feel that way, Mammoth. That means a lot. Yeah, he did endorse Sanders. This is the interesting thing. He endorsed Bernie Sanders. You're from Austria, Amber. Scare Tactics. It was a sci-fi show with Shannon Doherty from Charmed. I do briefly recall that, yes. Shipping is expensive from Australia to Germany. True. I'm doing fine, Jeff. I'm doing good. How's the makeup tonight, by the way? Do you like it? I put a little bit more heavy purple on. I like it. I like how it looks. He's brought some right wingers on who say they're leftists. Let's go through like. Can I find a list of Joe Rogan's recent podcast guests? No, I don't need another. What's it called? Let's just go JRE clips and just scroll through his. Oh, actually, you know what? Joe Rogan Experience YouTube. Powerful JRE is the name of the channel. So if we go back through his shows, this is just more clips. I didn't want more clips. I was hoping this would give me. No, that doesn't help us. I was hoping this would just be literally the podcasts. Maybe if I go to Spotify. Hold up a sec. The Joe Rogan Experience. We're not going to listen to him, don't worry. Okay. Recent podcast guests he's had: Elon Musk. That was today, apparently. Michael Malice, cultural commentator and host of the GAS Digital Network podcast You're Welcome. MMA show with Francis Ngannou. Fahim Anwar, stand-up comic, former aerospace engineer. Ali Siddiq, Mark Smith. Let me see here. Alex Jones. And Alex Jones. Oh, that's ages ago. Let's see. Brendan Shaw. We've seen him on there a few times. Tulsi Gabbard. We all know what Tulsi Gabbard is. What's Tulsi Gabbard? What's her deal at the moment? Does anyone remember why everyone hates Tulsi? I've forgotten. There was a Elon Musk is a bit of a twat. Yes, he is.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Amy wants hugs. I could have sworn you were following already, but welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and continue chilling out with us here. You do need more eyeshadow palettes, Dumplepings? Absolutely you do. Yes, more eyeshadow palettes. Everyone needs more eyeshadow palettes, quite frankly. What was I going to say? Fuck, I forgot where we were going with it. Well, we can get rid of the swastika thing. We're done with that. So there we have it, I guess. You know, you get a kind of a feel for it. And yeah, Elon Musk has been a little bit weird in terms of the stuff he's been saying online lately. I'd have to go back and revise. Saw 10 minutes of Kanye, but it was making you feel sick. Oh god, Kanye went off the deep end hard, dude. You're broke, but you have a 75% off code for Colourpop. Dang. You're off, Amber. Have a good one. Thank you so kind of being here. Not into politics because you're way too uneducated on the topic and don't have the patience to take it in when you try to educate yourself. Know enough to know you're leftist, though, and I mean, that's where I'm at, honestly, Mammoth. I know enough to know I'm leftist. I know that I support things like, of course, let's just list off a few things that I know I support, like social mobility. I support socialized housing. I support universal health care. I support equality in civil rights, for example. What are some other things? Action on climate change. What's an universal health care? Like, what else is there that I could I don't know. I believe in a society that moves forward on a cooperative viewpoint rather than a competitive one, which is what we're in. We're in that competitive space now. Everyone's competing with everyone else, stepping over everyone else to get ahead. And I don't agree with that social hierarchy. I really dislike it. As someone who's pacifistic, as someone who wants to be empathic, as someone who wants to help other people if I can. And it just feels entirely fruitless in a world where the moment you meet someone, you're not even going to be sure if they're there to be your friend or there to use you as a rung on a ladder. You know? You can know things are wrong without knowing the best alternative or be able to talk about it. That is true. That's where I'm at on a lot of different things, honestly, is where I know that there are obviously a ton of negatives around. What's a good example? I mean, real estate is a good one that I fucking loathe. As someone who is a tenant in a rental, I disagree with the idea of private landlords. I think there should be, this goes back to socialized housing. I think we should have socialized housing in the sense that the government creates housing for low-income people to give them a decent quality standard of living for low rent. I don't disagree with the rent model, but I think there should be, and the thing is, we have the capacity to do it too. We have the capacity to lift people out of poverty. We have the capacity to lift people out of homelessness and put them in homes where they can have access to all the core amenities and have a roof over their head and not have to couch surf and all of these kinds of things. And I'm not exactly fluent on the idea, but I do know a few basic things that I think would help the situation. And one of the first major things is, first and foremost, why the fuck is the land value going up? Why is the land value going up in this dog shit area that I live in, right? There's no reason for it, other than the fact that the landlord wants more money out of me, and I'm not getting more money. Where are you getting this extra money from? This is not, you're just going to charge me more money to live in the same house. Nothing has changed. Nothing has gotten better here. So I would, advocate for a system where people who are in a low-income situation are able to have housing that is quality housing and is not sending them broke, like $200 a week, maybe. Is that $200? I feel like $200 a week for a 3-bedroom house with a bathroom. 3-bedroom, maybe apartment, as an example of one of the things that I'm somewhat passionate about in terms of my political viewpoints. For a fact, you won't be voting with your dad for the UK election because he supports Boris Johnson. Ew. So he'll be voting for similar policies, and nah, that ain't it. And this is the thing, it comes back to the, I was going to tie this into socialized housing. I'm trying to think exactly what the problem is. One of the major issues, of course, is if you get to the point where you are rich enough that you can afford to be buying your own secondary houses. I'm going to put this down a little bit and have a bit of saucy shoulder action over here. One of the big issues is once you reach the point where you have the income that you can afford to have a secondary house or a third house that you can rent out. Your political viewpoints inherently skew conservative. You're immediately going to switch on a dime and start thinking, in order to... This is what conservatism is all about, really, actually, on that subject. Conservatism is all about not necessarily, sorry. We've mentioned a few times the ideal past, the white picket fences, 1950s idealized version of America sort of thing. It's that's what conservatives want to conserve. But I think there's also a significant factor of conserving their wealth. That's what conservatives do. And when it comes to poor conservatives, it's conserving the idea. They've got to take away, the rights from these people so that they can conserve the idea that they can get some social mobility of their own, which is not going to happen. Social mobility, for anyone who's out of the loop there, is, of course, the ability for people who are in, a situation like mine, similar to mine, where, there's not a lot of money involved, don't have a lot of money, but would have the capacity to move up in society. What have I missed? Vote Conservative because Labour... In the UK, we vote Conservative because Labour doesn't offer a competent alternative. We have a national health system that gets everyone healthcare. Is my rib better? No, it's not. It was hurting right before stream, actually. And I'm beginning to think maybe it's caffeine. I don't know what it is. It could be the hormones. It could just genuinely be the hormones. I don't know what it is, but my chest has been absolutely slaying me lately. And yeah, rent is a scam. It absolutely is a scam. We want the white picket fence for everyone, so long as it doesn't take money from the rich. Exactly. And we have demonstrable evidence that, the hormones going, hold on, we got too many ribs. We have the evidence to suggest that, there was kind of, for certain people, way back when, there was actually a decent standard of living for people who were in a low-income scenario, or an entry-level job scenario, or a minimum wage scenario. This is what the issue is whenever we talk about the minimum wage discussion, especially in America, where it's currently being debated. I don't know if they've actually gone ahead with it yet, but the idea is, of course, to move the minimum wage up to $15, where if America had kept up with inflation, the minimum wage would actually be more like $24. And I really hate when people will say shit like, also you believe someone who's flipping burgers at McDonald's deserves to have the same kind of money as a teacher or something along those lines. And even at $15 an hour, if you're working a full-time job, you're still only going to be making like $31,000 a year, right? And it's like, yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely, a burger flipper should have the capacity to be able to live independently, pay their bills, and even then, $30,000 a year is not going to give you that. But it's a fucking good start, and... let me think for a sec. Whenever you make that argument that a burger flipper shouldn't have the same level of income as anyone else who can live independently, the situation then becomes the original concept of minimum wage was specifically designed to give people who lived and worked in a minimum wage income a reasonable standard of living. Love the bandana, thank you. Like, that was the intention from the get-go. Like, minimum wage was supposed to get people the capacity to live under their own roof and pay their own bills and their own groceries and their own fuel, all of that. Like, that was the intent. From the get-go, they were supposed to be able to cover their cost of living. And now, literally nobody in the United States can live off minimum wage. It's simply infeasible. And even, I argue, maybe here in Australia, because it's not so much the wage itself, but the hours. If you're working in a minimum wage job, chances are they're not going to give you enough hours to make the income to cover all of your cost of living expenses. So you've got a twofold issue there. If you give the minimum wage an increase, they're probably going to start cutting hours across the board for all these employees if they're working in minimum wage jobs. It's like, yeah, we'll pay you $15 an hour, but that 8 hours you were working before, that's now 3. You're working 3 hours a day instead of 8. And imagine allowing the working poor to have housing security. I know, it's fucking ridiculous. Except now they're seen as the only way to live in America here. What's one of my favorite things to cook, Weirdbeards? Is that what you mean? Nachos. Dude, I want to make nachos. I haven't made nachos in such a long time, and the reason, my friends, the reason that I haven't made nachos in so long, that I don't have enough subs on Twitch to afford the ingredients. Kill me, please. I'm e-begging. Seriously though, I am going to be planning... We are already planning a baking stream where we're going to make damper, which is a classic Australian baked good, and we're going to be making, we're going to be doing drinks soon, and hell with it. If we're going to be doing different kinds of weird kitchen streams in the not too distant future, we will do a nacho stream soon, I think, because for the hell of it, why not? Let's do a nacho stream, shall we? So damper is like a savory... I've brought it up a few times on stream. I used to make it as a kid, and now my daughter, I've brought it up to my daughter who's 8. And it's like, oh, we can make damper, and this is damper, this is what it looks like. The classic Australian baked good, it's delicious. You can make it savory or you can make it sweet. And you can put whatever you want on it, really. You could put spinach in it, that looks like it has cheese and spinach in it. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. They've put like something in the dough there, which is fine. And you cut it up, and yeah, now my daughter wants to make some, so next time I'm at my mother's place, which will be Sunday morning, we're going to be making some freaking damper. It's great, it's awesome. Can be sweet or savory. You could just make a basic damper and then serve it with, you could serve it with, say, Vegemite, or you could serve it with other savory accents, or you could serve it with whipped cream and jam. Like it could blah blah blah. It could count as it's almost like a big scone. Honestly, that's what damper is. It's almost like a giant scone. Had Japanese food last night. Nice, nice. Hadn't had eel in ages. I'll have to try eel at some point. I feel like that's a bad thing to say, because as someone who is... I feel like there is this compulsion I should be eating vegan. As someone who is as far left as I am, I feel like I should be going vegan, but I'm like... But I enjoy meat, and it's also easy to eat a lot of the time. The steak of fish, texture-wise, interesting. It's something, yeah, we learned it in school, it's true, yeah, you're right. Damper is something they teach us in school. Because what, oh god, sorry, that was probably really loud. What damper used to be, as far as I recall, was a baked good they would make in the early days of Australian colonialization. Let me see if there's a history of damper. I fully intend to eat human flesh at some point in the not too distant future, so I will be able to verify if human does taste of pork. Yeah. Anyway, damper was utilized by stockmen who traveled in remote areas for long periods with only basic rations of flour, sugar, and tea, supplemented by whatever meat was available. The basic ingredients of damper were flour, water, and sometimes milk. Baking soda or beer could be used for leavening. Damper was normally cooked in the ashes of the campfire. Well, there you go. You get a bit of an idea of the history of it. You're left but not vegan. However, you're 100% against hunting animals for sport. I'm against hunting animals for sport, and I'm against just the meat industry in general. But the regrettable situation that we're in is that, of course, the world we live in is so much meat production that it's hard to avoid it. I could, but then you've got the issue, of course, of I'm very, very broke all the time, and meat is easy to keep in the freezer, for example. You can keep meat for a significant length of time, whereas other foods don't last as long, or are boring. Anyway, had sweet crackers and savory ones. Yeah, I feel that. I'm so broke too. I am like at the end of my tether with this shit. At the very least, hello, Ace and Deuce. Welcome in. How you doing? I mean, I would go vegan if I had the income for it. Is the thing. I've tried a few vegan options and they're quite nice. I've tried vegan cheeses. I've tried vegan meat alternatives, and if they weren't twice the cost, like I went to buy a packet of vegan sausages, 4 sausages, and it was like $9, versus I could buy a pack of 8 pork sausages and it was $4. Like, the disparity in price is so ridiculous. And it was the same for the cheese and same for the other options. It was like, if I wanted to try the vegan options, but the regrettable issue is that, of course, veganism is just very expensive because it needs to make back the income spent on producing the goods, and there's not as big of a market for it. New here, so you may ask a question you've answered many times. What do I mean by the trans agenda? We, the trans, are planning on taking over the world, so we have to disseminate the trans agenda to convert all of the cisgenders to our side. That's the main crux of the trans agenda. Or, if you want to get a more elaborate and intellectual take on the trans agenda, just watch The Matrix. That's the trans agenda. I think that makes sense. We're going to make everybody trans. We're going to be going out. We're going to be transing kids. Turning the kids trans. We're going to be sneaking into public restrooms and transing everyone. You won't be able to go into a public restroom anymore because you'll come out trans. Not the trans. Isn't that the transhumanism agenda? I mean, yeah, probably. Dude, like, I kind of love and hate that The Matrix has become such a focal point to look back on now. There's so much stuff that I think about when it comes to The Matrix, and I'm just like, I never thought about it when I first watched it, and now I think back and I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot going on in this movie, like brain in a vat, trans subtext, non-binary and gender fluid subtext, hacking, the concept of free will. Like, there's so much in that fucking movie. There's so many layers. It's such a shame that they didn't make any sequels to it. Yeah, I feel like the Matrix would have been really good. Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ann Moss. Never seen the trans subtext in the Matrix. It's a lot more obvious if you're transgender. Trust me. No, they didn't make any sequels. There were no sequels. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no sequels. Really weird how they're making another one and they called it The Matrix 4. If it actually comes out and it's just called The Matrix 4, I'll be so disappointed. Like, you gotta give it a subtitle. Lawrence Fishburne, yeah. Who else was in those movies? Agent Smith. Who was the actor who played Agent Smith? I forgot his name. You saw Matrix as a small bean. Your biggest takeaway was that Trinity was hot. Yeah, it's absolutely not going to be called 4. They'll give it a proper name. That's a fair takeaway, though. That's another layer in the Matrix. Trinity was hot. It was also Elrond. What's his fucking name? He's an Australian actor, or is he Kiwi? Yes, I see it. The Matrix. The red pill is the first big clue. The most common prescribed estrogen in the States was a red pill. Yes, Hugo Weaving. That's him. Good gravy. I mean, like, I'm a full-blown entire lesbian. But good God, Hugo Weaving. Anywho, neither here nor there. Gonna throw that out there. Hello, Amanda Panda. How you doing? What was I doing? What else? Can we list off like all the different trans things? There's the dead naming. First of all, Neo is referred to as Mr. Anderson. I think his name was John Anderson in the original. His license is John Anderson. And you know, when he comes out into the Matrix, he goes by Neo. Hey, Spooky, how you doing? You haven't missed a whole lot. We've been talking about. I mean, yeah, you've missed a lot. I'll be honest, you've missed a lot. We talked about the Mandalorian thing. We talked about a bit of. We talked a bit of Nazism. That was fun. What else did we talk about? I'll have to go back through this VOD because I feel like we've had some good conversations. Hugo Weaving could coerce me into premarital relations. The new hot thing is just redubbing it so it's the same title as the OG. Halloween, Scream 5 is legit called Scream. Though Scream does have the meta standard. I know, I hate that whole trend though. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, yes. Another great queer film. You always wish you could fully understand how it feels to be trans. You've had many deep conversations with your trans friends about how they feel, and you're still so lost. You basically realize you have no way to know for sure how it feels as you feel comfortable with the gender you were assigned at birth. Thank you, Azera. I'm going to throw this out there, Ace and Deuce. And thank you for the posture check. How you doing, Azera, by the way? I'm going to throw this out there. Have you watched Philosophy Tube's video, Identity, a Trans Coming Out Story? If not, I'm not going to play it for you, but I'll drop the link in chat. Because, and it might be, like, to some of you, I feel like some of it might still go over some people's heads. Tremendous video. Honestly, I want to rewatch it because I feel like crying sometimes, and I'm just going to watch that video because it will absolutely make me cry. Which is stupid.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Why didn't that come up in the bot? There we go. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Don't call me bro, though. Don't call me brother. You know that's wrong. I can tell you know that's wrong. But I suppose Philosophy Tube, Abigail Thorne, does go over some concepts that might help you understand. Honestly, I am going to be doing my own take on a similar format sometime later this year. The video I've had in the works for a while that talks specifically about masculinity. And I'm going to tackle a few similar ideas in perhaps a more approachable format. Because I will say Philosophy Tube, while they are quite entertaining and engaging, they do have a tendency to... what's the phrase I'm looking for? They do have a tendency to use a lot of big words, a lot of big ideas, a lot of big concepts that if you're not really in the loop about what's going on, you might get lost. People you can block. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Do you know what body horror is? That's your life. Oh, gosh. I mean, fair point. Fair point. Honestly, fair point. Can you say a thing on masculinity? You absolutely can. You absolutely can. You grew up in a super conservative family and lived your whole life with the old ways of thinking. You've been with your girlfriend for almost 2 years and most of her friends are part of the LGBT community. And talking to them has opened your mind a lot about how the old way of thinking is bullshit. Always happy to watch your streams, and I'm always happy to have you here, K&D. I'm glad to see that you've had that mind-opening experience. I'll see if I can sum up how I feel personally. I mean, because I'm going to say this as somebody who's a fan of the aesthetic of body horror. I don't feel that way specifically, but the longest time you felt it was shameful that certain scenes in certain video games made you cry. Yes, exactly. Honestly, any time, any media that I would read or I would watch or I would play, that there was an emotional scene that would strike my heart when I was not presenting feminine, I would feel dreadful about it. I really didn't want to express that emotion. Stopping in to say hi and wish you a happy Friday. Thank you, Azera. Haven't seen her newest video, but we rewatched her game industry video. That video was really good. I loved that one. Still free of that feeling. Still feels weird to admit. I'm still not free of that feeling. Like to think you have the same effect on your boyfriend. Let me see if I can elucidate my personal trans experience, my personal feeling of what it's like to be trans, what it's like to be, sort of trapped in terms of your identity. I won't say trapped in the wrong body. That's a phrase that gets thrown around, and personally, again, to quote Steph Sanyati, this is my girl body. It's not my body that I necessarily have the problem with. It's the script I was given at birth. I treat it like an acting role, And for the longest time, I was assigned the role of the male in society. And I was given a script and I was said, this is how you're supposed to behave. This is how life is supposed to turn out for you. This is the kind of career you're going to pursue. This is the kind of relationship you're going to develop with anyone. This is the kind of demeanor you're going to have. You're going to present a certain way. You're going to do a certain thing. This is how you are. And I always felt throughout my entire life that I had been given the role of someone that was in the stage play that, was not the role that I was supposed to be playing. I felt like I was given the role in the presentation that was supposed to be given to somebody else. And my role is being played by some other person. And I'm like, but wait, I feel like I'd be really good at that one. And, I feel like I'd be much more comfortable playing that role, if that makes sense, to use an analogy. So that became a very big thing for me, is like the script I was given, the script that I was told to read, the script that I was told to act, felt distinctly like this is not really my specialty. This is not where I belong socially, culturally, emotionally, any of these things. And then when I finally found the script that I was supposed to when I found the role I was supposed to have been given, the role I was supposed to have been assigned, I looked through it, I thumbed through the pages. I'm like, this is me. This is exactly who I am. And the unfortunate reality of the situation is when I first found that script, I was a teenage person. I was a teenage person. When I first found the script, I was very young, very confused about the world, didn't know any trans people. Didn't have any of those sorts of connections. And what happened there is I put that script under my bed, or I filed it into a filing cabinet or whatever the heck, and I just left it there. Hey Ren, how you doing? So I put that script aside, and it took me another 16 years before I reached through those files again, and I was like, oh, there's that old script I put away. I've been pushing along with this current role that I've been given. And nowadays, I found the script, I broke it out, and I started performing the way that I thought I was supposed to. I started performing the way that I feel I'm supposed to. Have a great evening, Azera. I think those roles based upon your sex are pointless. You have no reason to follow those roles. Well, yes. That's the thing, is like, absolutely. I'm totally a gender abolitionist, really, realistically speaking. We'll come back to that in a moment, K&D. I really dislike the concept that we have around our gender identity and our gender expression, but it is so intrinsically built into our social strata, into the social identity, the cultural, sociological identity that we have. You know, it's not just one person has a different, like a divergent identity. It's most of society has the same identity. Whether we want to believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there who are absolutely not individuals. They find that the role that they were given at birth, it just fits them perfectly, and they just go along with it, never questioning it. And that must be a very comfortable thing, honestly. It must be a very comfortable thing to never have to question it. Because cisgender people don't really question their gender. It's possible that they can have a gender questioning moment, but generally speaking, cisgender people do not question it. As an overall rule, like exceptions to the rule do occur. But yeah, generally speaking. As you were saying, Abigail's game industry video turned you on to Stephanie James Sterling. Been a big fan of the Gymquisition for a long time. I'm so glad they're out. I'm so glad they are out. You don't know what it's like to be trans, but we don't have to know. Exactly, yeah. There's no real reason you need to know. And maybe it's better if you don't. Like, maybe it's better if you don't understand it. Because there's a lot of stress involved. There's a lot of stress involved. Not a fan of games where the script allows choosing, though. You sometimes just wish LGBTs were given a role, because you know you're not Ellie, but you can identify with someone of LGBT. Absolutely. I personally do enjoy games where there's a lot of choice, a lot of decision making. This is why I want to replay Dragon Age, honestly. But the unfortunate reality is most of the time your choices don't actually matter. Having the freedom to choose your role instead of having one assigned to you is liberating. I grew up in a family of skinheads who were very racist and vulgar and always made fun of the gays. Growing up strictly around that, it comes off as cool. Like, that's the thing. This is the way it's supposed to be. It's like I've been around a lot of those kinds of people where they think, specifically making fun of trans people, gay people, people of color, it's just a casual, blasé, throwaway thing to them. They don't even think about it. There's a relative that I have, I won't mention exactly who has a habit of just injecting these racist ass jokes into conversation. You know, it's like we're not even having a humorous conversation, and all of a sudden there's just this sly racial comment, and it's like, and you're not? Is it possible that you could potentially not? It's very uncomfortable to just have this blasé, passed off as a joke, the identities of other people thing. It's really atrocious. Growing up and learning responsibilities, being a decent human being, you've opened up your mind. Learn to live that as long as people are happy, who the fuck are you to judge? Exactly. Took you so long to work out you were bisexual because you didn't realize it was an actual option. That, again, comes back to the issue that I have with a lot of... anytime there's any kind of divergent representation in media, not a straight cis white dude, or the representation of women, for example, is not sexualized. Big Cake 178, welcome to the Road Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. But representation, like when, I tell you what, dude, the uproar, if it turns out Miles Morales is bisexual, there's a lot of hints. Anyway, anytime there's any kind of diverse representation, anytime, you know, when Ellie was announced as a lesbian. Yarrow, thank you so kindly.
Hello, I'm about to go to sleep, but I just wanted to say hi.
I appreciate the 100 bits. Thank you for saying hi, and I hope you have a good sleep. Which universe of Miles? Fucking pick one, I don't care. I was gonna say Into the Spider-Verse because there's a lot of bisexual lighting in that movie. I get the suspicion almost everyone in that movie is in some way bisexual. Anyway, I keep coming back to this point. Didn't realize it was an actual option. This is why representation is so important. When Ellie was announced, or like, I think it was already hinted at in the first game in the DLC for The Last of Us, you know, they made a big deal out of Ellie being a lesbian in The Last of Us Part 2, right? You know, it's pretty huge. Pretty huge that Ellie is a lesbian, right? People lost their shit about that, of course. People are always going to lose their shit about that kind of thing. It's like, oh my god, she can't be my perfect waifu anymore because she likes the vaginas. Stupid. It's fucking stupid. But representation like that, Celeste, when the creator Maddie Thorson announced, yes, the fuck Madeline is trans, there was so much community uproar around that shit. Like, dude, that representation is so fucking good for trans people. Celeste made me fucking cry, dude. It was such a good reveal. It was such a good thing for the trans community, not to mention it was already hinted at in the DLC. So, whenever you see that representation and you see people like yourself, see people that feel like you do, or that identify like you do, you see you represented. Black Panther, for example, such a good, like, for the longest time, were there any mainline protagonist superhero movies? I don't think there were. That were not white men. Oh my god. Dude. Hold on a second. Just give me a sec. Just give me like 1 second. I need to check something. Okay, so Iron Man, white guy. Incredible Hulk, white guy. Iron Man 2, white guy. Thor, white guy. Captain America, white guy. Avengers, white guys and one girl. Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy, led by a white guy. Avengers, bunch of white guys. Ant-Man, white guy. Captain America, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Spider-Man, Thor, Black Panther. So it took them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 movies. 18 movies to have a black protagonist. Blade was a black protagonist, but I mean, like, specifically in the MCU, where the Marvel movies really took off. And by the way, I'm super keen for Mahershala Ali as Blade. I am keen on that. Like, I've sort of fallen out of interest with most of the MCU stuff now. Kind of vaguely interested in WandaVision. But I mean mainly, like, the MCU stuff that has been the blockbuster. The one series of movies that you could put a ton of representation in. Ton of diversity. And it took them 18 movies to put a black protagonist in. But yeah, like, Blade was fucking good. I like the first Blade movie. It's awesome. I can't wait to see what they do with Mahershala Ali. I think it'll be sick. Guess you have an unconscious lesbian magnet. My perfect waifu likes vagina. I don't know what it is about me, but I continually liked gay women and or been with them when they realize they are gay. Oh gosh. I mean, I had a pretty significant... I still do, obviously. I realized this after I came out. I've always had a pretty significant attraction to lesbian-coded women. Like, one of my best friends is a lesbian, and I met her on Tinder, and we went on a few dates before we decided to just be... Honestly, she's one of the best friends I've ever had. She's amazing. She means the world to me. And... like, I've always had a particular attraction to what you would essentially call lesbian-coded women, yeah. I like buff chicks, sometimes short hair with, like, the undercut or the side cut. Why am I telling you this? Some motherfucker's always trying to skate uphill. Trying to ice skate uphill. I do have to check out WandaVision. I have to get something off your chest. As a male, you have very pointy nipples. They poke through all your shirts. Tried icing them, but it only made them worse. Just amputate them. Go to a body modding place and just get them to cut your nipples off. Oh, gosh. What is this stream? I don't even know what this stream is anymore. What are we talking about? That awkward moment when you meet a woman, start liking her because she's so tomboyish, then oops. Oh, heck. Hello, Gibby. How you doing? I love strong chicks. Honestly, I could just look at strong chicks all day. The only problem that I found is when I go and I look at strong girls on Instagram. Not all of them, but there is a tendency in the bodybuilding community towards conservatism, which dissuades me quite a bit. And I think it's that whole might makes right attitude that the right tends to have. So they all tend to go for, you know, that bodybuilding things like, I gotta be big and tough and strong. And I've noticed more than a few female bodybuilders that I follow. You go into their, excuse me, you go into their Instagram bios and it's like, Christian, conservative, voted Trump 2020. It's like, oh my fucking God. You're so hot. Can you not for a minute? I want a buff girlfriend. I want a girlfriend who can deadlift me. Tall vampire lady. Relaxation vibes. Busy editing. This is always a good break. Good stuff. Glad to hear it. Once set in class, we need black representation, not just so that black kids can see they are heroes, but white kids can see that black people can be heroes. Absolutely, yes. Like, can you imagine? I mean, they almost did this with Captain Marvel. Can you imagine? I didn't see Captain Marvel. I really should get around to seeing it. But can you imagine, as far as I know, they almost went the gay route with Captain Marvel. Can you imagine if they fucking committed? Lesbian representation. Other way, mostly a girl where you're attracted to gender non-conforming and queer-coded men, but also queer-coded women. This is a truly random question. Do Australians get Twister or tornadoes? I don't think so. I think there was a fire tornado. No, actually, no, that was California. I don't think we have tornadoes or twisters in Australia, no. Not that I've literally never heard of an incident of a twister in Australia. It's really bizarre. Like, I don't know what the conditions are that lead to a twister occurring. We get cyclones. There you go. Okay, that's pretty close. Don't need a woman who can lift you, but you need a woman who can step on you. Agreed. Like Tall Vampire Lady. Yes, the girl off Resident Evil 8. I'm very tempted to get that game because of big titty vampire waifu. Autumn Ivy. Who's this person? Oh, damn, she is buff. She is buff. Holy heck, yes. We stan buff chicks. One of my favorites, and this is always tricky to show because is she used to be a stripper, so you got to be careful looking her up on stream. Paige Mills is an fucking tank. Where's a good shot of her, honestly? Where's a good shot that isn't all about her fake tits? Like, dude, give me a posing shot. Come on. Give me something. But she's like a motorcycle riding powerlifter chick, and she's awesome. You can look up Biker Biddy. Or here you go. I'll give you this, and I'm not going to bring up her page because I feel like it's not NSFW, but there's not really a whole lot there. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is Paige Mills. Fucking sick, dude. Who else? Who else do I follow on Instagram that's a bodybuilder chick? Twister is slang for tornado. Yeah.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Ace and Juice, welcome to the Rogue Room. Please continue to chill out with us and grab a drink and have a seat. It was all the most amazing live show at night. It was like a variety show with burlesque, magic, rap battles, and chiseled Adonis making a painting with his dick, live music, and so much more. Interpretive dance of worse people's sex experiences.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
That's unusual. K&D Gaming, thank you so kindly for joining us in the Rogue Room as well. Please sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. I'm getting the welcome to the Rogue Room, sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us is now my follow response, right? And I've got that memorized. But I have got nothing for subs, I've got nothing for raids, I've got nothing for hosts, I've got nothing for bits, I've got nothing for tips. Like, I gotta have some more slang terms. Chaotica, I love that name, it's sick. Welcome to the Rogue Room, sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. I literally have nothing set up for raids. Like, I just literally thank people for the raids. We chill. We just chill. I got another camera angle if you want. Not terribly exciting. Easier to look at than this one over here, though. I gotta, like, crane my neck up to look at this camera. But this one's, like, just sitting on top of my monitor, so you know. Also, I can do this. If you fancy it. I don't know. Anyway. Didn't realize you weren't following. Well, now you are. That's the thing. I've heard a number of people say to me that they've not followed me for like weeks at a time because I'm just always in their recommended, which is fucking cool to me, honestly. I like the fact that I'm popping up in people's recommended sections. That's awesome. Do I game often? Not really. I did play some Terraria a couple days ago, which was fun. I think I just get really, and I've been thinking about this actually on the subject. I think I just get so heavily invested in the idea of discussion. Even when playing video games, the problem became beforehand that I really enjoy the format of discussing a variety of topics on stream. And the issue I found was like, I'm playing a video game, but I want to talk about this thing we're talking about. So I got to stop my character and whatever I'm doing, pause the game, have the discussion, go back to the game, right? And I found that, there's always more and more stuff to talk about. There's always news, there's always something going on in the world. And I'm like, let's just experiment with the just chatting format, which, yeah, like you've said, is just basically an open platform podcast. And I quite enjoy this format. I quite enjoy doing this. And honestly, it's been good for my channel analytically as well. A lot of people seem to really be enjoying it. A lot of people seem to be stopping by. There's a ton of new faces all the time, and a lot of you are sticking around, so I'm enjoying that too. It's been good. We've been building a nice little community around here. And it's been dandy time. Can we get some hugs in chat? Yes. Can we get some hugs in chat? Can we get some hugs in chat? There's a good idea. There's a nice idea, Chaotica, yeah. I mean, I've been thinking, because I know some people do have a tendency to stream like just chatting for a few hours and then switch to a game. I think Pixel Smixel's done that, Hassan's done that, Bad Bunny's done that. Where they, they'll start off with all of their mainline content and then shift into gaming for the rest of the stream. Which, I like the idea of doing that. I like the idea of maybe mixing it up. Oh, you know what? I was going to mix it up and do a Blair White reaction video, actually. Should we react to Blair White or should I leave it? I think I should leave it. But like the idea was, yeah, the idea of, starting with just chatting and doing all of this kind of stuff and then shifting over to gaming later on in the stream. We experimented with it, the other night we played Terraria for about an hour and a half. Blair White's absolutely a negative influence, for the record. The reason I would be watching would be to rip into her. It would not be any sort of praise towards Blair White. She's awful. She's really awful. Best hug. I don't know if I have any hug emotes. She's reactionary true scum. Yeah, she's definitely transmedicalist as well, as far as I'm aware. I may be correct. I may be incorrect there. I've got a Laurie hug. There we go. I got Laurie Pops hug emote. Apparently I have a sub to her still. Laurie's great, by the way. Go follow Laurie Pops. Student said she's leaving soon. Had a bittersweet thing happen. Excuse me, said she's leaving soon. She gave me some chocolate for Valentine's Day. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm gonna miss her so much. Started crying when she gave you the present. I like how True Scum gets caught in the filter. Let me look up what True Scum is. I'm not 100% certain, honestly. Define True Scum for me. True Scum meaning. True transsexual scum, transmedicalists are sometimes referred to by others or by themselves as true scum, a term coined by a Tumblr user meaning true transsexual scum. There you go. And all I've seen of Blair White, excuse me, the reality of the situation is a lot of what I've seen of Blair White's content tends to be her tearing into other transgender people, whether they pass or not, or whether there's like one social media incident involving them, or they posted a YouTube video she disagrees with their viewpoints and all this kind of stuff, and she extrapolates like the worst possible takes to form her own content. And yeah, you're right, it absolutely is very self-hating, and the trans community already deals with intense self-loathing to begin with. So for her to go down that route to be this absolute pick-me, it's like, look, I'm the one good tran, and all the other trans are the worst on the planet sort of situation, is really, really not helping the transphobia situation that is affecting the fucking world. She's an absolute clown, yeah. And you can understand people who just stream DVD or that one game because it allows for a chance to talk, game and talk at the same time. Yeah, true. Can't sit through Minecraft. Honestly, I used to be a primarily Minecraft streamer. And then I shifted, and honestly, I haven't... Have I streamed... Yeah, I've streamed Minecraft since I came out. But I haven't streamed it in months now. Terraria was good times though. We liked Terraria. What else is there out there that I've played on stream? I've done a fair chunk of Skyrim. I did all of the platinum trophies for Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, and Bloodborne. Have not done Sekiro yet. I've got to do Sekiro, and if I ever get a PS5, we'll do Demon Souls, which is not going to happen. Stardew, I've done a ton of Stardew Valley. I've been meaning to go back and do some more Stardew Valley, actually, but as of lately, I haven't had the chance. Actually, on the 10th, when we did Terraria, Stardew was one of the poll options. If I get a chance soon, I wouldn't mind doing another gaming stream. Like, we'll start with the just chatting format and then switch to a game. I honestly wouldn't mind doing a longer stream one day where we'll do 3 hours of just chatting and then 3 hours of a game. But that would have to depend on if you folks are down for that. I have not done Slime Rancher yet. I've seen my friend Loot Demon play it. I'm going to do some quick shout outs here. I'm going to shout out Loot Demon really quickly because they're awesome. He's awesome. Good friend of mine. She played Slime Rancher at one point. That's the only time I've ever seen anyone play it. I have not played Bug Snacks, but I am intrigued by the idea. I was watching Hometown Green. We rated Hometown Green the other night, and she had a playlist on in the background, and the Bug Snacks theme came on. It's such a quaint theme song. I love it. By the way, not hinting at anything or anything, I am 10 followers away from 3,000. Fuck. What the absolute fuck? And I'm also 14 subs away from 125. I'd prefer to hit that number before I hit 3,000 followers, honestly. It's always so weird to me when I see people have a list of goals on their Twitch panels, and one of them is just literally follow a goal after follow a goal after follow a goal, and it's just like going up by 100s. And I'm like, you've got to have more of a goal for your stream than that, honestly. I'm not going to do the stream advice thing, although there is a story. Do you guys want, should we get into some streamer drama? Some spicy streamer drama. Do you want some streamer drama? Streamer drama. It's hot and spicy. Hot and spicy. When did I start? March 2018. Replace names. Okay, we'll do a replace names thing. This is posted by someone who does have a username on the internet. Bye bye Fox. Have a good one. I mean, this has got 1.8k likes at the moment, so it's kind of well known. But oh my god, it's a whole ass document. It's a whole document, friends. Okay, so person, we'll call them Henry. No, not Henry, that's disingenuous. We'll call them Henry. Hello, Cornelia, how you doing? How's it going?
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room, Cornelia. Thank you so kindly for the follow. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with it. This is coming from the perspective of somebody who was entrenched in Aaron's community when he first started his stream coaching business. I think this was about 2 to 3 years ago. Currently, I stream part-time and do social media consultancy part-time. Half of my work is for brands, half of my work is for streamers. Because of my history with him and my current... You can tell that I'm fucking replacing the names and the pronouns. Fuck Henry. No, Henry's the good one. Henry's the good guy. I also want to point out... Hang on. Because of my history with him and my current career, I like to think I have a good angle on whether or not what he's doing is beneficial. I also want to point out that many black individuals have repeatedly expressed discomfort with Aaron due to reasons I'll get into later. And if you saw that and didn't listen to them, please think about that. I have bad experiences with people in this industry. Hell, people have had bad experiences with me. That's human relationships. Because I don't believe them to be possible repeat offenders, or because I just see it as me and this person had an argument, I don't talk about it. I don't subtweet. I don't make call-out posts. But after seeing another person come out about being mistreated by Aaron and seeing that Stream Coach Academy, that's going to give it away. I just read the actual title of the thing. Is opening for the spring. I'm just going to do this. When I mentioned on my timeline that I'm tired of seeing him mistreat people, I got a ton of DMs from people telling me their stories. Too many people lack a full perspective on his business and his actions. I will not be showing any DM messages that the sender didn't... There was just a request edit access from Anonymous Buffalo pop up on this as I'm reading it. Love Henry. I'm doing well, Cornelia. How are you doing? Can we get some fuck Henry? No fuck Henrys. Fuck Aaron. Too many people lack a full perspective on his business and his actions. I will not be showing any DMs. Some instances are old, some are new, but they all reflect the same pattern of behavior. How are the hormones treating me? Well, I feel good. I feel nice. I feel happy. But yeah, the rib pain is not very good, or nice, or happy. And am I allowed to talk about boobs? Am I allowed to talk about breasts? Maybe I'm delusional. Hey Evo, how you doing, lovely? Maybe I'm delusional here. We'll stop with the talking about this Stream Coach Academy drama for a minute. It's hard to say. Honestly, hard to say. But I keep looking at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, I'm pretty lean. I've got reasonable abs at the moment. And so like, and my arms are like cut to the, you can't see it in this light. But honestly, like if can I show it? No, you can't see my veins at the moment. Under the right light, my veins pop out like crazy, right? So I'm pretty lean. I'm pretty lean right now. I want to actually get a body fat measurement done. Howdy, Burn. How you doing? Yeah, we're going to talk boob for a second. And I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, are those just pecs? Is it just pecs? Is it not small? And my chest is not, it's not huge, honestly. It was like, surely that's not just pec muscle. I don't exactly lift heavy on chest, you know, like I've lost a ton of strength in that department. I look at it and I'm like, could be pecs. But, you know, my other muscles, my arms, hard to say. I suppose, like, you got Arnold's thing. If it jiggles, it's fat. But I know that's a tricep. If I don't, that jiggles, right? That jiggles. Until I flex it, and the jiggle virtually goes away, or a little bit. There's a bit of fat there. And that doesn't jiggle. So, you know, there's maybe a... Some people take longer to develop their full size. True. Alright, let's skim through this a bit. Let's see if I can find some good info. Project partnership. A statistic that Aaron often uses to legitimize his business is that he reached Twitch partner in 2 months after a long hiatus. The SCA site even says, I achieved my dream, and that is the information I'm sharing with you in this program. So basically, what I'm reading into this particular thing is this is blatantly... Hey, Candy, thank you so kindly for the 100 bits, you bloody legend. You absolute bloody legend. Legend. Thank you so kindly. Along with bigger circle, I mean... awkward. They look softer. I will say that. That area looks softer and pinker. So... there you go. Bit sounds we need, yeah. Best exercise you can do from home. Honestly, eat less. That's the only thing. Like, this is the thing that my mother came to me with. Like, I want to lose all this arm fat. What exercises do I do? Eat less. You can do muscular exercise. You can do like hammer curls and bicep curls and all of those kinds of things. Like you can grab a dumbbell. Actually, do I have something I can use as an example? Pretend this is a dumbbell. One of my favorite tricep exercises is the overhead dumbbell tricep extension. Just pretend this is a dumbbell. Have your arms like this, and you go like that. Keep your elbows locked in tight. That does work on the tricep muscles. However, and then you got usual stuff like if you can do standing bicep curls like this, works on the bicep. But honestly, the big issue with a lot of people who want to lose fat in certain areas is you don't get to choose where the fat goes away from. Honestly, if you're trying to lose weight, oh, you have IBS, so you barely eat. Oh, I see. Well, that I honestly can't help you with. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, there's a big misconception around if you do, and unfortunately the fitness industry specifically influences this mindset when they put out advertisements for this particular workout program. Burn the belly fat now, and like buy our Ab Circle Pro and you'll lose all the belly fat. And it's always the belly fat sort of thing, or arm fat occasionally comes up. And the reality of the situation is no matter how you exercise, your body is going to lose fat wherever it decides to lose the fat from first. Honestly, I really want to do, I was strongly considering doing a video on both fitness culture and diet culture, like video essays, like my one cancelled and the one that's coming up in a couple of days' time, which you'll be able to watch. I'm gonna put a premiere on that one, and I'm thinking because I do know a fair bit about those, I'm gonna do another video essay that focuses specifically on one on fitness and one on diet, one on diet culture and one on fitness. And the fitness one is definitely going to play heavily into the trans women in sports thing. Or at least a portion of it will. Not the whole video, but a portion of it will tackle that bullshit. What's my position on being trans and also working out? I enjoy it. Quite frankly, I've been lifting weights for like 4 years. So for me to just completely drop it would be very difficult because it's a habit I've gotten into, and it's honestly very well benefited my mental health as well as physical. The major changes... Hey Reba, how you doing? Now, the major changes I've made are my weights are a lot lighter nowadays. I do a lot more high rep exercises, and I do a cardio routine. I do 20 minutes on the bike before I start my workouts or after I do my workouts, my muscle thing. So, and I am losing a lot of size, honestly. Like testosterone blockers and estrogen have affected that. Bye. If you want, okay. You feel there's a pressure? There is a little bit. There is a little bit of a pressure to not work out as heavy and as hard as I used to, for sure. But I've recently gotten back into the big 3 lifts, the squats, the bench, the deadlift, and I do enjoy doing those, but I cannot lift anywhere near as heavy as I used to. My big 3 are piss weak now. Trans women in sports? Yes, trans women in sports. Yes. That's my opinion on that. Let trans women compete in sports. Done. Should we go back to this thing, or should we just keep rambling? Because we can go back to this project partnership thing. So to basically sum up where we were talking about someone who has effectively been running a scam to try to help people get partner, and they've been offering stream advice and all this kind of stuff, and it's like this paid service where this person offers all of these different modules for how to help you succeed on Twitch, and it's so blatantly a scam. It's disturbing. There's more in here. What's Valheim? As far as I can tell, Valheim... Oh my god, the fucking lights. Give me a second. Valheim is like a... See you later, Draco. Have a good one. Yeah, it's like Viking survival crafting game. Yeah, it looks decent. Looks alright. Looks better than fucking Rune 2 was. Stupid fucking lights, man. You know what? Just because... Not gonna work now. Oh, okay. Doesn't want to work on me now. There we go. It's gonna be red because I'm angry at it. Angry at it, friends. Oh, this is why. The tape is fucking coming off. Ah. Okay, I need 2 things. Back to purple. I need 2 things for that. I need another layer of double-sided tape, because the double-sided tape that's already on there keeps peeling off, and I need something to hold the cable in place so that it doesn't keep fucking up. It's currently 11:23 p.m. where I'm at. Cube World. Yes, Cube World. Remember Cube? Oh, there was a game called Cube World. Oh yeah, I remember this. I'm going to put a poll to you folks. There's a poll for you folks. Do we continue with streamer drama or do you want to move on to whatever else? And if you want to move on to something else, let me know. You have a particular topic that you're interested in. You fucking assholes are all going to pick different options and balance the poll out. Oh, there we go. We got 3 maybes. That's not going to help. Voted yes because you got to know about Aaron. Aaron seems like a bit of an asshole if I'm honest with you. I have the attention span of a dead deer at this point, so you have no fucking idea. I'm just gonna, like, these maybes will just go to either yes or no, depending on which one is ahead. Who is Aaron? Okay, so the situation is thus. I wish there was a TLDR for this fucking thing, but there's not. The crimes of Aaron need to be revealed. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk, like, I mean, I'm not using the same names or anything like that, so I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this on stream, because it is technically... You could technically argue this is potentially slandering a Twitch partner. You could argue this is technically talking about a streamer negatively, which is not covered by TOS, like that can get you in trouble. But the thing is, this is another big... it's a big streamer running a scam, and I feel like personally, if we're having people running scams in the streamer community, that shit needs to be shut the fuck down. Honestly. The crimes of Aaron need to be revealed. You'll stick around if the stream continues. I'm only going to go till midnight. I usually stop at about midnight. No company names? Okay, so well let's try to avoid that then, because I've already called it by whatever it's called. Alright, we'll go with yes. I'm going to vote yes. There we go. We'll go with yes. We'll keep going. Okay, so a statistic that this person often uses to legitimize their business is that they achieved Twitch partner in 2 months after a long hiatus. This is where we came from. The site even says, I achieved my dream, and that is the information I'm sharing with you in this program. Literally, if you look up most of what I'm saying here, you'll be able to find this. Don't want to put me at risk, but at the same time, it's like this is a thread that has 2,000 likes on it just about, and the person has been absolutely avoiding any kind of accountability for their actions. The situation is thus, again, here we go. There's a TLDR for this section. Before returning to streaming, they started a secret group called Project P, where they said they would help a group of people get to partner. They claimed that they, a non-streamer at the time, and partner streamers would advise the group on how to reach partner. Instead, they pitched using a bot website and embed streams, and this is the fucking thing that irritates me to no fucking end. Dude, seriously, I hate this shit. There is a streamer that I met a little while back, and I'm irritated by their existence because of the fact that they went from having no followers to suddenly having hundreds. They embed their streams, which I think is starting to not work as well because Twitch has been working against embeds, but they embed their streams to get hundreds of viewers. And it pisses me off. Like, thank you for gaming the system, fuckwit. Aaron ghosting, how suspicious. Gotta get back to the work. Have a good one, Candy, and thanks again for those bits. So, embedding means they're putting their stream on another website and funneling traffic to that website to gain more views. Here's a good example, Fextra Life Wiki. For example, Fextra Life is used by a ton of different gamers for a ton of different games, and their stream is always embedded on the side of the website. People aren't actually watching the stream, they're using the wiki, but they count as a view. So they've got routinely like 14,000 viewers. That's just people browsing the Fextra Life wiki pages for different games. That's the thing that annoys me. So you can embed your stream on some website. No one's actually watching the stream, but they're on the website for this reason or that, for some reason or another. Internal screaming or sleeping. How do you deal with not wanting to talk to someone who wants to talk? That's a long question. I don't know if it'll fit in the poll category. Wait, I can't even... That's not even a poll, that's an open-ended question. What? That's an open-ended question. I can't put that in there. I'm gonna go. Oh, well, I suppose you'll get internal screamers. Just. I'll just put like. There we go. There's your poll. Internal sleeping to shut it. I vote Screm. Screm. Can we get some Screms in chat? They gotta be lowercase. Can we get some Screms in chat? Like a little. What's the legal side of Twitch say on this? As far as I know, like, if you go to Stream Manager, if you go to your stream summary or your channel analytics, I forget which one it is, you can go to your path to partner, and this is the interesting thing, is path to partner explicitly says concurrent viewership excluding hosts, raids, and embeds. So if you embed your stream to 100 viewers, for example, and you get to 100 viewers, and most, like 90% of those are embeds. Mammoth, thank you so kindly for the hydration. It's actually soda water, but whatever. Screm's in chat. If you get 100 viewers and 90 of those viewers are embedded viewership, like a little ad on a website that you happen to run that people are using, then Twitch is not going to consider you for partner. They can see all of that shit. Sparkling mineral. Yeah, it's great. This is lime flavored. Nice, I like it. So Twitch knows, and Twitch will see you gaming the system, and they'll be like, well, no, fuck you. You don't get partner, fuck you. And honestly, good. I hate that shit. Is that like using a Discord chat? No, I think as far as I know, you can use Discord chat with your streams instead of Twitch chat if you wanted. I think Riley Grace for Strong does that. She streams with her Discord chat on screen, not like, I think she does YouTube streams, or maybe another site. I get the suspicion Riley Grace for Strong uses another site to stream on, and she has an embed panel like we've got you guys over here, you folks over here. Screm with 90% of the votes. Got a panel over here that's just Discord thingy. Until Disney and until Discord and Twitch become business rivals like Disney and Netflix. Yeah, that fucking sucks. I miss Jessica Jones and Daredevil. They were fucking good, dude. I mean, I suppose technically, yeah. I mean, yeah, that is capitalism, isn't it? That really is capitalism. Capitalistic competitiveness destroying good shit for us. Used to squeeze your own lemon or lime. That's a good idea. But yeah, no. So the embed situation is pretty fucking bad. I'm not gonna lie, the embed situation is pretty fucking bad. I would much rather have organic growth on Twitch than have my page embedded somewhere. Because yeah, that's just negatively impacting you further down the line. Anyway, as we were saying, instead they pitched using a bot website to embed streams and encourage the group to watch each other there to boost view counts. Did you folks remember the Royale streamers debacle a little while back, where it was exactly this? Like, there was a bot website, you would go and watch embedded streams, and everybody would just be watching each other back and forth, and there was a point system, and you could escalate yourself in the system. And ultimately, it ended up getting caught out. It got caught red-handed in 4K, and they got shut down. I think they tried to come back, but eventually they've sort of dissipated. The streamer community largely turned on them, which is fucking good. When that didn't go down well with the group, cool, awesome. They decided they wanted to prove to the group how easy it was to be partnered and went back to streaming with the group and their moderators watching them every stream, because the group was around 80 people, right? So they planned this meticulously. This is why I hate the whole path to partner thing. I hate the whole, let's get me to partner, let's do the partner push. And what they mean by the partner push is get everyone in your community in your stream every fucking night. I don't want to do that to you people. Good Lord, be here when you want to be here. You know, I appreciate that so much more, that you are actively choosing to spend your time with me, rather than let's turn this into a gig. Because who does it benefit if you do a partner push situation? Who's the one getting any benefit out of this? Open question. Who is among the 80 people, 81 people including the streamer, who are tuning in to this particular person's stream? Who's What does anyone else in the stream get out of that? I mean, yeah, you might find that streamer engaging, but quite frankly, it would feel so disingenuous. Can't stay up that late that often. I understand that, Kibby. Partner does mean exclusivity to Twitch. It also means I think you get a partner tick. And I think once you're at a certain level of partnership, like once you've got thousands of viewers, you can negotiate a higher pay percentage. Twitch is benefiting most, but it's the streamer, obviously. Would be here every day if your sleeping schedule wasn't completely fucked. With the voices of thousands loving you over the screams of your sadness. This is why instead of subscribing to me here on Twitch, you subscribe to me on Patreon, where I upload some behind the scenes stuff from my YouTube videos and other fun things. You'll still get ads on my Twitch streams, but there are cheaper options on my Patreon, and I get a bigger cut of the money. 5 head. Makes you feel so relaxed. You missed a few streams and have felt it before if you missed a stream from other streamers before. Yeah, like this is... Some people really push hard for this. It's like, oh, if you want to really support me, you gotta be here every single stream. It's like, no. I want you to be here if you want to be here. And no money to Twitch. That's the big part, Lucy. Fuck Twitch getting the income. Let's scroll down a bit more. So basically they had a bot website with embedded streams where people in this group were watching each other back and forth to boost their view counts. This person decided to prove to the group how easy it was to get partnered, and they went back to streaming with the group and their moderators watching every single stream. The group was around 80 people, which would push them beyond, like the average viewership would push them beyond the partner level. And that's the thing, is like I could probably scrape together 80 people and say, look, just for 30 days, watch every one of my streams, just be there in my stream. I could probably reasonably do that, but I'm not going to, because it's disingenuous. Because what happens if you try the path to partner route, what's going to happen is you will have all those people there for that 30 days to boost your view count, right? Or whatever the minimum is. I think you could just stream like the minimum hours and get... Where's the path to partner thing gone? So to reach path to partner, over 30 days, you need to stream for at least 25 hours on 12 different days and have an average of 75 viewers minimum. So you could literally stream not that much throughout a month. You could stream 1 hour a day for 25 days. That already clocks past your 12 different days thing. And as long as you had 80 different people in the chat, 80 different people in your stream, you're past the path to partner average viewer count of 75, right? Which would then make you eligible for Twitch to look at you and say, well, this person is obviously pulling some numbers. But then what's going to happen once you reach that path to partner final achievement unlocked thing? You know, we could say, yay, we finally did it, everyone. We got past the path to partner requirements. They have no more commitment to you anymore. Like, the people in these kinds of circles are very, very self-serving. So they'll just do this as a favor to the streamer and then be like, okay, now it's my turn. When are we going to do it for me? And it's like, well, and then if you reach partnership and you don't have any viewers after the fact, it's going to look sus. You know, people are going to look at you and be like, well, you're partnered, but why do you only have 12 viewers? You know, so it's not worth doing this kind of thing. This is only the third stream from you that I watch. You can only watch because you're not working today. Can Twitch unpartner you? They can. They seldom do. Why do I feel like you've been around even more than 3 streams, Ice? It feels that way. Anyway, they can, but yeah, they only do it if someone has been really naughty. Someone's been particularly naughty. YouTube seems to be the better streaming option because you can't be banned until they say you're unbanned. You can't even access your account. You mean on Twitch, Catalina? That one girl who abuses a cat. We're not bringing Alinity back into this. Get nervous when people feel like they have to be there. Yeah, no, exactly. You get FOMO. That's why I'm trying to put out as many stream highlights as I can, honestly. Because I want people to be able to go back and watch bits and pieces of my stream that they missed, so that they can get a feel for what was happening. But there is a lot of effort involved in putting together those stream highlights. I've got to scrub through my stream, find a good part, cut it together and put it on my YouTube channel so that that content is there for folks that missed it. And there's a lot of effort involved, which would be nice to have an editor to do that for me, but I'm gonna put that off until much further down the line. If I can reach a point where I can feasibly pay an editor to do that for me, then I will. But right now I do not have the budget for it. Absolutely not. Twitch sub runs out soon, and once that's over, you just you want to get a job. Hang on, and when you get a job, you want to sub to me again. Although if Patreon is better, yeah, I mean, I think you do need an account on Patreon, yeah. Wait, Destiny got departnered? Seriously? Destiny? Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Destiny loses Twitch partnership for encouraging violence. Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bonnell 2. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this was back in September of last year. Lost his Twitch partnership for encouraging violence. 576,000 followers. He's now playing League of Legends, although he's been found in the Just Chatting category in recent broadcasts. Destiny's fans were confused as to what he may have said that got him in trouble. After some digging, the streaming community found the clip that most likely got his partnership revoked. The rioting needs to fucking stop, Destiny said. If that means white redneck militia dudes mowing down dipshit protesters that think they can torch buildings at 10 PM, at this point they have my fucking blessing. Holy shit, this needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago. That's what he said that got him departnered. Jesus. So that's the kind of thing that you can expect Twitch would departner you. Yeah, reactionary violence, exactly. Absolutely an asinine way to lose your privileged position on the biggest streaming platform. Well, not really. I don't think Twitch is the biggest streaming platform. It could be a toss-up between them, YouTube, and Facebook, honestly. He's still on the platform, though, streaming regularly. As far as I know, he is still not partnered. I actually completely forgot about that till just now. Is he... He's not. He hasn't got a partnership, so he's still affiliate. Which is funny because for the longest time there was a joke among the streamer community that Slicker was the biggest affiliate on the platform, and Slicker got partner and now Destiny's lost it, so he would technically probably be the biggest affiliate on the platform now. He blames so many other people for getting departnered for that. That's entirely his own fault, honestly. Like, he's encouraging people like Kyle Rittenhouse, who, for anyone who missed this particular juicy little thing, judge declines new arrest warrant for Kyle Rittenhouse. A judge on Thursday refused prosecutors' request to issue a new arrest warrant for 18-year-old from Illinois who was accused of killing 2 people during a police brutality protest in Wisconsin last summer. Kenosha County Circuit Judge Bruce Schroeder also rejected prosecutors' request for a $200,000 bail increase for Kyle Rittenhouse, who came to Kenosha in August as hundreds were protesting the police shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man. Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger said in court filings that prosecutors realized Rittenhouse was no longer living at his apartment in Antioch, Illinois, when a court notice was returned as undeliverable. Kenosha detectives traveled to the apartment on February 2nd and found someone else living there. That man said he'd been renting the place since mid-December. So basically, Kyle Rittenhouse, the guy who literally did, we can verifiably state, murdered 2 people at the very least and injured a third if I'm not mistaken, you know, the kind of people Destiny was encouraging, has been denied a further arrest warrant. So he's still allowed to walk free. He blames so many other people. Oh, yeah, I read that bit. Always streaming when you get up for work. There we go, that's good. Thank you, Apollo. Got mad at Vorsh because Vorsh wouldn't end his friendship with someone who retweeted the clip. That is so petty. Imagine trying to end someone else's friendship. Imagine going out of your way to try to, you know, to hold someone else's friendship over their head. Hi, Maya. Thank you.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
And welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Do I live in America? No, I'm not. I'm just surprised how knowledgeable I am in daily politics. Honestly, a lot of it just comes across my timeline in all sorts of social media. Lucy223. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Because it's my room, and I'm Rogue. So it's the Rogue Room. There was originally like an... There was a bit of a nightclub style to it. Like, if you look at my Be Right Back scene, it's supposed to be a bar with, like, lights and drinks and all that. And I used to have a backdrop that was a night sky sort of thing that was, like, green screen. And I dropped that in favor of this visual style here. And, I just sort of kept the Rogue Room. I honestly considered changing this up here to the Rogue Room. Because I've got a logo for that as well. Let me show it off. Let me show off my pixel art, what I do sometimes. Here's the old starting soon screen, for example. So, it looks like a nightclub entryway door sort of thing. I don't know why I went with that. It's like I don't do nightclubs. But the room kind of has a bit of a, chill out, lots of LEDs vibe. Lots of pretty colored lights. Bisexual lighting for life, for the record. American politics has dominated our news the last year, with Trump appearing on our media more than our own leader. Exactly, that's the thing. Like, I barely know what's going on in Australian politics, but I do know a fair chunk about American politics because it's everywhere. And I think talking about what American politics is doing also does affect politics in the rest of the world, because that's what America does. America has such a great influence, being one of the world's largest nations, that, whatever they do, the world tends to have a follower, not leader mindset. This is the last of my bubbly water, by the way. Hello, Jelly. How you doing? How's the boyfriend? If I don't know about Australian politics, I know a little bit about Australian politics. The primary thing I know is that Murdoch Media... there is one story I have about Kevin Rudd saying that Sky News is using the Fox model to radicalize politics in Australia, for example. Which, Rupert Murdoch, one of the most vile and detestable human beings on the planet. What about day clubs? We don't stand day clubs. Get the fuck out of here. Serving nightclub realness, hey? I really should do a pixel art stream at some point. I have considered it. Really didn't think people gave Trump a second thought. Don't like him, but felt a lot of people thought the world didn't care about what happened in our country. No, yeah, he was honestly the reason that he was so prominent in the social media politics space is because of how often he was on Twitter, honestly, and how often he was making obscene decisions, and how much of a vitriolic figure he is. He was always constantly riling up his base, so we would hear about it all the time. And there is a website that actually keeps track of all the lies he has told during his administration, for example. So just the constant news cycle around him, which honestly is exactly what he wanted. Maybe he's crying and weeping now about the possibility of being impeached, but the reality of the situation is Donald Trump treated America like a capitalistic business, which, realistically, isn't it? And wanted to be the figurehead CEO, and he wanted to be like that car salesman kind of thing. This is the thing, he's got this very used car salesman way of doing everything. He wants to be the guy in the car commercial when they're advertising his used car dealership. He has to be in the commercial advertising all the used cars he's got available for sale. So that was his whole thing. Donald Trump's whole thing was he needed to be the person that America was associated with, and thus the world had to bear witness to it. Blocked him within the first year of Twitter, didn't want that negativity. Understandable. Only way he survived was to just not even watch the news. A lot of people do buy it in America. They do. We've completely gone off track with this this discussion. Or just leave this. Maybe we can come back to this tomorrow. This stream Project P, Aaron and Henry and all this kind of thing. Because there's a lot here. We're not going to get through this tonight. Oh my god, it just keeps going. I might read through this and see if I can take down a Cliff Notes version of it, and we'll go through the Cliff Notes. Because it's an interesting story, honestly. It's an interesting story about how easily manipulable people are. There are so many news stories I have not touched on tonight. There was something about the Proud Boys. There were 2 Proud Boys stories. One in Australia, one in America. Yes, there are Proud Boys in Australia. If you can stomach that. We can talk about that story if you want. You're right, you're going to bed, Jeff? Have a good one. Have a good one. When he got in office, you wanted to create a meme. His face in the politics, I'm the president. Exactly. The disturbing thing... The disturbing thing is that Donald Trump got into the presidency on a meme. He literally got elected on a meme. People were making all these stupid memes around him, and honestly, this is what's really disturbing, is it worked for him. And there is someone who is equally as vile here in Australia called Big Fat Man. I forget what his name is. What's the dude's name? There's a particular politician here in Australia who is equally as far right. He's a mining magnate, and he used a lot of copyrighted songs in his advertising, which the bands who were associated with those songs didn't like him doing that. Clive Palmer, that's him.
Welcome
and
to the
his
Rogue
whole
Room.
thing for a while, Strawberry Stella, welcome to the Rogue Room, sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Clive Palmer's whole thing was to use memes. He had a meme page on Facebook. He was interviewed by a reporter, and the reporter was like, so what's the deal with the memes? And Clive Palmer's like, I just love memes. And there was just a ton of memes going around relating to Clive Palmer's political campaign. And his slogan when he was trying to run for something, I forget what exactly he was running for. Was it a federal election? I think it was a federal election. I'm looking lovely today. Thank you. I'm sure you're looking lovely too, honestly. Yeah, his particular stance is very much aligned with what Donald Trump was pushing. And guess what? Guess what Clive Palmer's political slogan was? Just take a wild guess. Take a wild guess what his political slogan was. I'm waiting. Make Australia great. Just make Australia great. Not again, for the record. Not make Australia great again. Just make Australia great the first time. And he flopped hard. It wasn't previously great. It's certainly not going to be great under the leadership of a mining billionaire. Anyway. Sadly, it wasn't explicitly xenophobic. It's not the One Nation Party, regrettably. What is One Nation slogan? The One Nation slogan. Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party, or the Pauline Hanson's White Supremacist Party.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Isadora Evie, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Yeah, she definitely has a very one nation under God kind of approach kind of thing. Very, very Christian, very, very white supremacist. If you don't like it, go home. That kind of thing. And she's routinely spoken about the idea of white genocide and how there's real, actual racism against the whites in Australia. It's bafflingly dumb. It's incredibly tone deaf. I don't know how someone like that can exist in a political sense. And as far as I know, she's been not explicitly ousted from the One Nation Party, but she doesn't lead it anymore. It's now... oh, what's his fucking name? Hang on. Mark something. Mark Latham. Mark Latham is who leads One Nation right now. He's a dickhead. Understand the Pledge of Allegiance. It's enforced into our brains since kindergarten. Yeah, that's kind of really terrifying, actually. It's explicitly propagandistic. Yeah, Mark Latham leads One Nation now, as far as I recall. One Nation Party. It's still called Pauline Hanson's One Nation, or FON. And as far as I'm aware. Yes, led by... That's the One Nation NSW Minor Australian Party. That's not the one I want. Pauline Hanson's One Nation. Far-right political party. Mark Latham throwing FONs at people. Penny Wong. What's Penny Wong's deal? Australian politician who has been a senator for South Australia since 2002. She served as a Senate leader of the Australian Labor Party since 2013 and is the current leader of the opposition in the Senate. He was a cabinet minister in the Rudd and Gillard governments from 2007 to 2013. Rightio, Amanda, have a good dinner. And we're glad you appreciated those hugs. She hates Pauline. Well, then I love her. We stan anyone who hates Pauline. Dude, we got fucked on the Gillard government, honestly. Julia Gillard deserved better. So did Kevin Rudd. Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd deserved better. Is that a real... Why is everyone in chat orange? Everyone in chat's like a dark orange. That can't be a real question. That cannot be a real question. Wait, do I even have anything in my stream indicating that I have anything against... I mean, I do, obviously. Duh. Yeah, you're green. Emmy's blue. Then we got Romeo, Bernard. Well, there's at least 2 orange names in chat. Well, 3, but I don't want to mention the other one by name.
Welcome to the road.
Have them all in green. It's Sophic. Welcome to the road room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. We're probably going to call it in a few minutes. We're just wrapping up, really. We're just, like, chilling out. We talk about the Australian Proud Boys. Yeah, you're purple. And, like, I think it's when people don't actually edit their own... when they don't edit their own username, you can change the color of your username. If you go to chat appearance, is it chat appearance? Oh, no, you go to chat identity. That's right. And you can pick your name color right at the bottom. And then, you can pick whichever one you want. Do we do the Proud Boys thing? No, you don't have... You can pick more colors with Prime. Like, for example, I've seen people with black names and, like, neon yellow and all of these kinds of things. Del, do you have Prime? Or is that color... Oh, no, I can see your color in there. Yeah, you can have pink, purple, green. There's a bunch of different greens, bunch of different blues, oranges, reds. I wish there were more purples in here. There's only one purple. I want like an indigo, but that's what you would get. It's either Prime or it's... If you go to more colors... Oh, no. Folks, hold the horses for a second. It's Twitch Turbo. There we go. I just clicked in chat. I went to switch to... where was I? I went to chat identity. You go down, you click on more colors, and it opens up the Twitch Turbo page. There you go. You got to buy Twitch Turbo, and it allows you to have a bunch of different colors. What do you mean I'll never be a woman? I am a woman. What are you talking about? You really want red because it's your favorite color. There's a red there. There's a few reds there. Pick whichever red you like. Unless everyone's going green to fuck with me now. Because, I mean, we do stand going green. I'm going to stop saying we stand. We stand. We stand. Go green. Vape Nation. Hey, guys, do you remember when H3 used to be good? Vape Nation. Go green. What the fuck happened to H3, man? They became popular and they just fucking suck now. Any of the content I've watched... I mean, I haven't watched any of their content recently because I just got so bored with the... I got so bored with the... What's it called? The podcast format they were doing. They're getting better again. They have put out a couple of actual videos in recent memory. They've done... Ethan and Ian have done a couple together, which has been fun. But... generally speaking, like, most of their current content doesn't strike with me. But, like, when they're millionaires... They're millionaires. You know, what do they care? So, the US leader of the Proud Boys, a neo-fascist group listed as a terrorist organization in Canada, eat shit, fuckfaces, has praised one of the group's Australian members as amazing after he filmed himself making threats at the workplace of a man who he believed made a negative comment about him on social media. Members of the Proud Boys in the Albury-Wodonga area on the New South Wales-Victoria border have begun showing up at the homes and workplaces of people they claim are involved in the local group of anti-fascists. Yes, Ethan and Ela are Jewish. Very observant of you. In the first 2 videos posted online this week, the head of the Borderlands Proud Boys group, Jared Searby, and a group of followers filmed themselves arriving at a car dealership in Wodonga, searching for a man they claimed was a member of the group. Here's a question for you. If I mention someone in a news article, like a public news article, who is mentioned by their full name, Jared Searby, am I doxing them? Like, I mean, not really, considering Here's a whole ass news article it's on The Guardian, for fuck's sake. A lot of people are gonna read this fucking shit. Am I a bad person for reading their name out? That's your town. It's public knowledge. Thank you, Stella. I'm not letting you go yet. I'm not gonna ban you just yet, because you're mildly amusing with how dense you are. But don't worry, I'm not going to call you an incel, a simp, or a virgin. It's fine. I'm not going to go that far. And a group of followers films... Oh, we read that bit. In the video, Searby and 3 other men entering the dealership were yelling out the man's name and waving a printout of comments he claimed were posted on a local Facebook page. Searby enters the dealership office where a group of employees sit and stare at him. He accuses the man of doxing our businesses and threatens to return to the shop. We want you to know that as long as your employees continue to do this, we're going to continue to come, he says in the video. There's 3 of us here today, next time there will be 10, and after that 20. We're going to start protesting at the front until he's removed. It's not acceptable. We expect something to happen. In a second video posted on Wednesday night, Searby and 2 other men show up at a residential home and bang on the door, yelling out the name of another man. When no one answers the door, Searby says, "We'll come back later." But God, what's wrong with the Proud Boys exactly? I mean, the burning of a cross and the waving of Nazi flags is kind of a bad part to start off on. Is this stream down? Down with what? Down with the clown? I mean, honestly, ICP, I'm not a huge fan of their music or their message, but they seem pretty cool with their COVID response. Oh, the stream shouldn't be down. Shouldn't actually be down at the moment. By the way, hi Rebecca, how you doing? As we were saying, in a second video posted on... Oh, we said that bit. But Guardian Australia understands the men were not members of what Searby described as Antifa, or even part of the group they believed they were targeting. Instead, they were locals in Albury-Wodonga who had liked the anti-fascist page on Facebook and commented on a post that identified Searby as a Proud Boy. One of the people Searby targeted is understood to be a 65-year-old man. So, how old is this Searby bloke? Going off and intimidating 65-year-old men. Okay. Very, very stable genius over here. Searby who does... Excuse me. Searby who describes... Oh my goodness. What? Ethereal Seth. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. You jumped off for a bit, come back, and there's another troll. I haven't gone that far yet. Anyway, what was I saying? Who describes himself as a philanthropist and entrepreneur, also works as a commercial painter and runs the mixed martial arts gym of fucking course he does. His feud with the local anti-fascist group stems from a post on its now deleted Facebook group, which identified the gyms and his affiliation with the Proud Boys. Welcome to the Rogue Room, Rebecca Soul West. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us as we read about the Proud Boys. Very, very chill. Very chill vibes in here. The administrator of that group, who spoke to The Guardian on the condition of anonymity, said he had never spoken to either of the 2 men Searby had approached. One of them is a 65-year-old man, he said. His comment wasn't even anything bad. It was like, this dude gives a pro-white sign while holding his dick. That is all. The other comment was, they never send their best. And these guys have just labeled them Antifa, despite the fact that I've never met them. Searby did not respond to a request for comment from The Guardian, but on Thursday night participated in a YouTube live stream with the Queensland Proud Boy Ben Shand and the Unshackled Editor-in-Chief Tim Wilms, in which he said he was not fucking talking to media. I'm going to have to update that video essay link soon. 2 more days, folks. They wanted a statement ASAP, and I was in the middle of a teaching class. I said, I'm not fucking talking to the media, we do our own media, he said. Of course you do. Didn't threaten anyone, you did say we would come back and protest if they continue to dox our businesses. In a statement on Friday, a spokeswoman said to the Victorian Police, spokeswoman said the Victorian Police would not comment specifically on the ongoing activities of far-right groups, except to say that we closely monitor a range of groups to ensure there is no threat to public safety. Why is the music completely the fuck stopped? This song is just dead silent. The song is just dead fucking silent, dude. I can't hear it. Fuck off then. I'll skip you, cunt. Where was I? Responding to these groups and associated events and protests is a part of what police do on a daily basis. We are equipped and well prepared to deploy resources and to respond and intervene where needed, she said. You could hear it? Well, fuck, I'm sorry. Proud Boys would make it chill. Wish the Proud Boys were cool and not stupid. I mean, I agree. Everything I've seen about the Proud Boys in recent time, I mean, generally speaking, the Proud Boys, everything that I have seen has been really fucking stupid. They are not committing to acts of reason. I personally wouldn't want to align myself with a group that specifically wants to target and exterminate minorities. Anyway, thought I would throw that out there. He said Victoria Police was committed to responding to any acts of racism, discrimination, or vilification based on religion, culture, or ethnicity. On Thursday night, Searby said he had not been contacted by police. The videos have helped Searby catch the attention of Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, who was arrested in Washington, D.C. on the 5th of January and charged with destruction of property and a firearms offense. On Thursday, Tarrio appeared on a vodcast with Searby and other members of the Australian Proud Boys, calling Searby's stunt amazing. We rate Dead Cat. What's Dead Cat doing? I commend you for that, Tarrio said in the video. The Proud Boys was founded by the Canadian-British far-right activist and Vice magazine co-founder Gavin McInnes in 2016 and describes itself as Western chauvinists. Here is the crux of the situation. The Proud Boys were explicitly designed as a chauvinistic, read misogynistic organization. They specifically hate women. Women are not allowed within the Proud Boys, and they are also a largely white supremacist group, and any group that skews white supremacist tends to skew towards violent actions. And in this regard, yeah, Tarrio the snitch as well. In this regard, a rite of passage into the Proud Boys is one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. They get a bunch of these blokes together in a circle, and they start just, I think, elbowing or punching on new members to get them, they, haze them, basically. Stupid fucking rituals, man. Stupid fucking rituals. What's Proud Boys? Yeah, I know. Like, what are the Proud Boys doing in Australia? And like, this is the thing. We come back around to the Donald Trump thing. There were right around the election. No, actually, after the election had been decided, been called. There were Donald Trump rallies in Melbourne, Victoria. I think it must be a Victoria thing. I haven't really heard any of this outside of Victoria. For some reason, Victoria has got a bit of a Proud Boys problem, has got a bit of a white racist supremacist problem. I don't understand why that is. A bit of a Trump supporter problem. It's like really bizarre. It wasn't a very big crowd, honestly. It's so weird. Like, Donald Trump is not governing Australia in any capacity. He's not governing anyone now. And this was post the election, so you're there waving Trump 2020 flags, and he lost the election, and that was decided. That was not, we have any reasonable doubt. It was like, this is decisive. Donald Trump is no longer the president of the United States of America. Why are you even doing a Trump rally in the streets of Melbourne? There were rallies in Japan. Like, this is what's honestly quite worrying about the cult of Trump. The Cult 45, as I've taken to calling it. Is that his influence has got such reach beyond America that it could lead to some really disturbing implications, especially if he starts to organize his own political party in the United States. It's very worrying, honestly. Yeah, Cult 45 sounds appropriate. Stupidity and ignorance. New World Order! This is why Antifa needs an organization, honestly. There's no such organization as Antifa. Antifa is not an organized body. But we need to be... I'm one of those Antifa sluts, by the way, that MyPillow guy was screeching about. Oh, did you hear this fucking shit, dude? We'll just wrap up on this, I think. Oh, I won't finish reading this because it just keeps going. The MyPillow guy was rambling on his show. MyPillow dude. Antifa sluts drugged and seduced Capitol rioters. Fuck me, Dad. I'm too tired for this. I quit. Sub to me. I have to get 14 more subs. Can we get 14 more subs in chat? Oh, dude, I would name a band Antifa Sluts. Let's fucking go. I'll get Jeffrey involved. Name a band Antifa Sluts. Oh, goodness me. Okay, it's been a good one, folks. Thank you so kindly for hanging out tonight. You've been amazing, been delightful, and I think we lost our alt-right friend. That's a shame. Unless they got...
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Homonyms13, thank you for being my two... Oh, and FT Wilbur with the sub. You know what, you get to hang out in the sub lounge as we wrap up the stream.
Thank you for your membership. Please, enjoy all the delights of the subscriber lounge.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Botwick, who I've said... Botwick has recently come out to me as non-binary, to all of us as non-binary, so I need to figure out what the... Instead of Mr. or Mrs. I don't know what they prefer to go by in that regard. Thank you so kindly for the sub, Wilbur. Thank you so... Mix? Is it Mix? For all the people who feel useless, popcorn is made in the same pan, heat, and oil. They don't pop all at once. You'll pop on your own time. That's lovely, Pastor Lord. Thank you so kindly for that. Mix. How do you pronounce it, though? Is it like mix, or is it mix? Like ms? Would I be a ms or a miss? Or I'm not a missus. Because technically speaking, like, I'm a chick. But I've never thought about this. I'm not married. I've never been married. I'm not a divorcee. Mix or MX? Here we go. Mix Botwick. Botwick is NB. Our bot is NB. Our bot is the one who does the alerts, by the way. Botwick has been a loyal and ardent supporter of my stream since I started streaming back in 2018. Miss with a single lady? I think it would be Ms, though, because I'm like, you know, old. But anyway, I was going to say, homonyms 13.
Welcome to the
Oh, there we
Rogue
go. Let me just quickly check this. Charming. Oh, thank you so kindly for the follow. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. That didn't update. Okay. Well, it still says 2,998, but that's 2 followers as of me looking at it, and it's saying 2,998, so I think, cause you're my 3,000th follower. Congratulations for that one. That's pretty fucking cool if I do say so myself. Okay, so who were we going to raid? Somebody mentioned... I forget who we were going to raid. Miz, I believe, is the married variant. There we go. Dead Cat. What's Dead Cat doing? What are they doing? Have a gander, mate. Let's have a gander. They're not... What? That's a non-channel. It's got 1 follower and they're not live. What? GeoGuessr. Isn't that an app? What? Dead Cat Presents. There we go. Have a look. Be Miss or Miss? Oh, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this fucking... But what's GeoGuessr then? What's... Oh, a game of simulated world travel and geographical knowledge. That's neat as fuck, dude. Hell yeah, let's go watch that. That's awesome. Don't insult a one... No, it was a 1 follower stream. Like, and it was one of those accounts that had nothing. Like, no, 1 follower and nothing. So let's go and chuck a raid, if it's going to behave itself, to Dead Cat Presents. He's doing some GeoGuessr at the moment. Well, they're doing something on Doctor Who, unless that's related. But I mean, I see a trans pride flag in the background. So we already stand. My schedule is, generally speaking, 9 PM. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I should have a schedule thing down below under my panels. You can click on, if I go down here, on their thing. No? There is a schedule widget somewhere on Twitch, as far as I'm aware. Please stick around for the raid and say hello. I don't know where it is. I don't know where the schedule is. At any rate, 9 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Follow me, if you have not already, on Twitter, YouTube, join the Discord, and my Instagram if you would like to. I've really got to actually make a proper thing that's all of those put together. I've been lazy. A widget, it's like a section on the website that's kind of interactive, generally speaking. Top stream, thank you, DJ Mule. Thanks so kindly, everyone, for hanging out tonight. Thanks for all the bits, the subs, and all the good stuff. And we'll be live tomorrow night with some more fun times. And on Sunday, special stream. My new video is dropping, and we're going to watch it together. Ta-ta! Have a good one. I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
Holy shit! Holy shit!